that they've ran all the way to the Cup final. This is a much different team than what the Oilers iced in the previous 2 Stanley Cup runs. However, it's changed a lot at the deadline, getting some size and getting a little more commitment. And that's what we saw last night. Commitment. 22 hits, 23 block shots. That is, it tells you how invested that the Oilers were in this game last night. The Avs came out hard, man. They were on pucks early. They were flying early and had that first goal, that early goal to give them the lead. And that all started with Ross Colton giving it to Emberson. And Emberson was one of the 3 players that left the game. But the Avs were full marks for exactly where they came out and how they tried to dictate the pace of the game. Already a lot of text coming in about the Nathan MacKinnon, Connor Ingram crease hit. A lot of people think it shouldn't have been a 5. A lot of people think it should have been a 5. Some people think the officials got it right. Some people don't. There is going to be a debate on this all day long on Sports 1440. For me, personally, I was leaning towards a 2. I think one of the reasons that they gave Nathan MacKinnon a 5 is because of how deep he was, Connor Ingram, in the crease. And that, I think, had something to do with the 5, as did the cut on the forehead. And you got to think, when you bowl into a goaltender that hard, I mean, he is going full throttle. Nathan MacKinnon is as powerful a player that we've ever seen in the game, driving hard to the net. Man, people back in the day used to talk about Rocket Richard and Gordie Howe and all these guys, and then guys in the 80s and 90s. Glenn Anderson. Well, Nathan MacKinnon is bigger, stronger, faster than all of those guys. And he absolutely throttled. We haven't seen a crease hit, like that ever, I don't think. That's one of the most violent ones that we've seen. Yeah, there's been a couple other ones, but this one was violent. When you get a pressure cut on your mask, from your mask on your forehead, and then he's taken under the game on concussion protocol, Colton Ingram, that means you were hit hard. Darnell Nurse is involved in the play. Darnell Nurse took the other side of MacKinnon. He basically takes a hip to the melon. He could have been concussed on the play. It was a play that's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And again, we have texters coming in right off the hop. It was the right call, but flip it around. And what happened if that were Zach Hyman going in to Mackenzie Blackwood? Would you want a 5? Well, no, you wouldn't. So I think you have to look at it, everything. But I really think that the way that Connor Ingram was so far back in the crease, most of these violent collisions happen when the goaltenders, his feet are just at the top of the blue. And he's 2.5 feet back here. That's how deep he was in the crease. But it takes away a little bit from how the Oilers handled themselves last night at many points of the game, the amount of momentum swings in this one, the quality of chances in this one were off the charts. And again, Tristan Jarry, 11 saves, comes on with 35 seconds or so left in the second and gets tested immediately and ends up to play very well, extremely well in the third period. Again, the hits, the block shots, big. And that was Connor McDavid's 75th career game-winning goal. Evan Bouchard, if you want to compare Evan Bouchard and Cale Makar on a head-to-head basis, how they played, Bouchard was better than Makar last night. There's no denying that. Think about we're talking a world-class player, the best in the world in Connor McDavid. On the fourth goal, when he does the spinorama and eludes Taves, if that happened to an Oilers defenseman, and most important, especially Bouchard, people are flying off the handle. Can't defend. Can't do this. Can't do that. Bouchard was really good again last night. So the other couple of things that happened in the sporting world that are almost inexplicable happened, one of them at the World Baseball Classic with Italy beating the USA 8-6. Now, Italy has an opportunity here to advance along with Mexico, out of that grouping, out of that pool. The USA, the United States, the dream team could be eliminated from the World Baseball Classic. If Italy wins today against Mexico, then it's Italy and the U.S. going on. Mexico beats the Italians today, they move on with Italy, and the United States would be out. Now, there are some other stipulations and rules here with runs for and against that could come into play, but those are the simple scenarios. Then in the NBA last night, Bam Adebayo just drops a cool 83, the second most points in NBA history. Kobe Bryant had 81 in 06. So it's been 20 years since that happened. A lot of people talking, and first of all, Bam Adebayo is more of a defensive guy. He is was averaging 18.9 points per game going in to last night. So he just scored 65 more than what he normally drops down. A lot of people were talking about how things played out at the end of the game. And people were flipping over. I think they ended up busting the stream service for the NBA because they wanted to see history. But it was different down the stretch here because of how the game was played on several points. And Kobe Bryant, when he dropped 81 on the Raptors 20 years ago, the game was still in question. And Kobe took 13 of his team's last 17 shots. Last night, it was way different. Adebayo, they were, first of all, the Heat were fouling quickly on the hopeless Wizards. And then he was obviously going to the line many times. They called a challenge play that wasn't really there just to save some time and get another breather. The integrity part is coming into play in the question, and a lot of that has to do with the legend of Kobe Bryant. Well, we got through about 11, 12 minutes of high-end stuff there. We'll get to the tons of texts that are rolling in at 833-401-1440 as we welcome in the Duke of Delburne. And you had a game last night, Duke, in the middle of all of this?
Well,
what was it? What was it?
So, Kev, you almost you skipped one of the huge stories that I was the first one that came to me when I got off the ice at Nate Arena around 7:50.
Yeah.
Max Crosby's not going to play for the Raiders.
Well, and not only that, it just gets announced that Trey Hendrickson signs with Baltimore now because they pulled back on the trade.
And they obviously, okay, well, we put a lot of coins in this pot of having a premier pass rusher. And you and I talked about this yesterday when we were discussing some of the other names that remain on the market.
Mm-hmm.
You just say, okay, well, who's still out there? Trey Hendrickson is. Wonder what's going on, why nobody wants him. Well, he found himself a job pretty quickly. So what an unbelievable night across the sporting calendar. Canada picks up a huge win at the WBC. So now it's winning in their final game against Cuba to advance through, which is a huge, it will be the first time ever they've accomplished the feat as a nation at this event, which is awesome. You talk about the Italian upset, that kind of happened right as I was getting home. Started the Oilers. I essentially watched the Oilers game on delay the entire night by the time I got home, right? And then caught up, finished the game maybe 5-10 minutes after the live feed finished the game because I wasn't behind by that much and you're skipping intermissions and whatnot. So it's almost too much to comprehend when you talk about that many huge storylines all in one night.
Canada beat Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic 3-2.
Yeah, right.
Sets up a big game today against Cuba.
So they get that opportunity, and what an evening. It's tough to. It would have been impossible to keep eyes on all of it at once, but the best you could. Obviously, first and foremost for us and the majority of people here in this region was the Oilers game, which was a wildly entertaining hockey game, back and forth affair. Each team took their turn asserting some dominance over the other, and as impressive of a win as it is for the Oilers, and especially from some individual perspectives. You talk about Tristan Jarry coming in the third period. You mentioned that off the top. The play of Evan Bouchard all night was really quite exceptional. Yeah. It was not without its flaws from the Oilers side, right? And once again, I think still inside their defensive zone at times, you saw a lot of these same issues rearing their heads. If I had to put a positive twist on it, I didn't see many of those ugly things rearing their head when you had the new players on the ice. These guys that's supposed to be their responsibility in the forms of Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson in particular, who I thought, again, had pretty strong performances over the course of 60 minutes. So what a night, and pretty excited to get to spend the next 3.5 hours talking about all of it.
Well, and they took some bullets last night. I mean, Emerson got hit hard 3 times in the first period, ended up not coming out for the second. Colton Dock was injured early in the game, and he was initiating the hit on Josh Manson. So they were down 11 forwards quickly. And then Emerson, after the first period of play, now they're down to 5D. Then they lose Connor Ingram. So they took some bullets last night, and we're going to find out a little bit more today, I would assume, on most notably Connor Ingram, who, again, looked good in his time of play last night and was full marks for the saves that he made. And I thought at times the guys in front of him were they were selling out. They were selling out as far as block shots and doing everything else as well. So, I mean, do you got an opinion, Duke, on the MacKinnon hit on Ingram? Like, as I said, I really think because he was so far deep in his crease, that had something to do with how they called this as a 5.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was part of their reasoning. But when I watched that play over and over again, and every single factor weighed into it, with precedence playing a role here as well, I can't see how it's a 5-minute major penalty. The 5-minute major penalties, in my maybe opinion and also experience, I think, of them being called, often comes with, and this is kind of the definition of a match penalty, which isn't necessarily what was assessed here, with an intent to injure. And I don't think that's, and you can talk about the recklessness of the play by MacKinnon, but this is just like, to me, it's a hockey play with an unfortunate result that absolutely is deserving of a minor penalty, for without a doubt. But a major penalty, I think, was a little steep.
So they have to call the 5
and then give themselves a chance to review it. And they spent a long time reviewing it.
It was a long, long time.
Very long. You talk about a game that was already starting way later than I think anybody watching would have preferred.
8:18, Duke. So, I said 8:07 yesterday. Was off by 11 minutes.
Yeah. So when you factor, I was quite surprised. And you if you're listening to the broadcast or watching it on TV, I should say, you heard Louis DeBrusk talking about it. And this is a guy that, was on the Oilers side, tries to be as impartial as he can. The whole review, he's like, oh, this is coming off the board. There's going to be a 2. He could have said it 100 times in those 5 minutes it took them to review it, and I wouldn't be surprised. I was very shocked that it stayed on the board as a 5-minute major.
Yeah, and I mean that was just, and a lot of, he wasn't the only one. I think.
Gaz, I was kind of on Twitter. Gaz said it. I know our buddy Lana Ferraro said the same thing on Twitter as well, that he didn't necessarily think it should be a 5-minute major. And I want to make sure it's noted and double down on here that it's absolutely a penalty. Right,
like
for sure. You're in the goaltender space. Now the speed of the collision is not indicative of his intent of the collision.
Yeah, I don't think there's no intent there for MacKinnon. He plays hard, but he plays with such an edge too. But again, that depth of Ingram being in the crease,
right?
And
I think it matters.
Here's another thing too, Duke. I think sometimes there is the fear factor, the gore factor, and you see that Connor Ingram's got a gash on his forehead. I think that could come into play too. And Jared Bednar said that after the game. I get the goalie was hurt. I get that he was cut.
But if he hadn't been cut, he still has to leave the game for concussion protocol, no doubt.
Yeah.
Does that change how this goes out if there isn't literal blood on the ice inside the net? We don't know the answer to that. If we can guess and speculate, I have to think it does. If there's no blood, I don't know if this decision is rendered the way it was.
But I mean, you got like when you see the goalie mask, I'm sure is that what kind you wear, Duke? Similar kind, or what do you wear?
No, I've talked about this before and I not know what it looks like on the inside of their helmet, but just from an exterior perspective, NHL goalie helmets do not look to the naked eye as though they are the call it premier option that is available for mass consumption or purchase out there at your local sporting goods store. My helmet, it's got all these gel and it's for comfort and stuff. It is heavier, quite a bit heavier than a one that it looks like these guys would wear is. But it does surprise me that in all this stuff that goes, and you see the same thing in players too, right?
You can get pressure cuts all the time.
What NHL player, and this is a serious question, wears the best helmet that any manufacturer makes? Yeah. I think the answer is maybe 10%. Like the Bauer 4500, most popular helmet that I think I've ever seen in the NHL. it is a $60 helmet at your local sporting goods store. But it's light. They think it's comfortable, and it's simple.
Yeah. Well, we'll be discussing a lot of this subject this morning for sure. There's no question about that. And we'll start things off with Liam Herobin from Oilers Nation right off the hop. We've got Mark Spector. He was at the game. We'll get his perspective on it last night in Denver at 8 o'clock. Ben Nicholson-Smith from Sportsnet covers the Toronto Blue Jays. Tons to talk with the Jays, and then tons to talk about the World Baseball and how things are playing out here. I mean, again, Canada and Cuba, the Canadians have a chance to move on. The Americans, there's an opportunity that they don't move on, which would be like, I don't know. Like, that's like when you think about dream teams that are assembled there, then you can talk about usage and talk about how, like, you got Mark DeRosa, the manager, yesterday before the game against Italy saying, well, we've already locked up a playoff spot, so we just still want to win this game and keep things going. Well, he didn't even know that they didn't lock up a playoff spot. That's how bad it is. David Schlimco will slide in at 9 o'clock, our co-host for Cougar Paint and Collision. We've got Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff at 9:20, and then Ansar Khan from M Live covering the Detroit Red Wings at 10:20. When we come back, Liam Herobin from Oilers Nation on the Kevin Karius Show, presented by Sports Select with the Duke of Delburne on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeault. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9. Check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:22 in Edmonton. Time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, we can meet all your car needs and then some, especially with our digital vehicle report. So we just don't tell you what your car needs, or your truck for that matter. We show you. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com today as we welcome back Liam Herobin from Oilers Nation. Good morning, Liam. You're with Kevin Karius. As always, thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Good morning, Kevin. How you doing?
Oh, a nice late game for us last night, Liam. Started at 8:18 for puck drop, but I'll tell you what, it was worth staying up for every minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I bet you liked the 10-minute review as well, just to add on top of everything.
Yeah,
really get the full impact of the game. But yeah, it was a good one, much better than the last time Edmonton and Colorado played from an Edmonton perspective. But that's how those games should be, right? Like 2 of what should be the best teams in the league going at it with some of the best skill we've seen. So it was exciting, and I'm glad it was a tight game.
It really was, and there were so many momentum swings in it. Even right off the top, I thought one of the key parts of the game, and we'll get to the MacKinnon Ingram scenario in a minute, Liam, but I thought maybe the biggest point of the game for the Oilers was the late goal in the first period by Jack Roslovic. It just gave the Oilers it's sort of a little bit more confidence than that what they've had, and not just in this game, but over the course of the entire season.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times have they been on the other end of that, right? Where they've allowed goals late in periods, and it's kind of crushed them a little bit as well. So that was a really big one, especially considering the chances they didn't really have any in the first period. Only really the power play one from Nuge, and then the Roslovic one too, of course. And it seemed like the buck on Mackenzie Blackwood last night was get it up high when you're in tight, and he ain't stopping it because the Oilers got 3 of them that way. So they did a good job, I thought, of just being opportunistic and also being patient as well defensively. I think that's one of their big flaws this season is they've exposed themselves just by kind of running around a little bit. And I thought there was moments yesterday where that happened in parts, but it didn't explode like it has throughout the season. So yeah, an impressive performance and a patient veteran one, I would say, from the Oilers yesterday.
Liam Herobin with us on Sports 1440. Well, your thoughts on the MacKinnon going hard into the crease on Ingram, a 5 or a 2? And to be honest with you, I don't know, maybe they could make up a rule in this case and just have a double minor keep him in the game, but I don't know. Your thoughts on where the penalty, what was called, and then after the review, pardon me, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, huge call, no doubt about it. I wonder how upset Avalanche fans would have been if it wasn't Nathan MacKinnon who was the one who did it, but he was. And I think one thing that to put some context to it, how many times did Connor Ingram get hit in that game before the hit from MacKinnon? I counted at least twice beforehand. So I wonder if that was put into the account for it all. But I think that MacKinnon was just somewhat reckless in his approach to it. It was a harsh call, but because of obviously Nurse, but I do think they add into it how Ingram comes out of this too, and he obviously left the game and wasn't allowed to return through the concussion protocol. So I do think that was part of the decision as well. I don't know if I would have necessarily called the 5-minute major. I kind of like what you just said, Dan, of like maybe a double minor is more appropriate because you're right. Like MacKinnon probably didn't deserve to leave the game, but Nurse hits him. He gets more of the contact. He still probably would have hit Connor Ingram, which would have just made it a minor. But I do think the outcome of Connor Ingram leaving the game had a big impact on why it was named a 5-minute major. What did you make of it?
That, and two, I thought because of how deep that Ingram was in the crease, most of the time collisions between a forward cutting in or an opponent cutting in happens at the top of the blue. I mean, Ingram here was 2.5 feet down from the top of the blue. He was almost basically on the goal line. So I think that had to come into play here.
I think too, like it was a pretty horrific look. As soon as we got the angle of Ingram, you see blood on the ice immediately, and like somehow it ends up cutting him behind his mask. Like it was a crazy hit. So yeah, I was surprised. I don't know if I've ever seen a 5-minute major for a goalie interference before.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think it has happened before, but I'm not totally sure. Liam Herobin with us on Sports 1440. Ingram was playing well up until that point, and then Tristan Jarry. Have to talk about him because out of all the players that need some confidence, he's at the very top of the heap here. And what did you see from him in the third that that he can build on moving forward here?
Yeah, he definitely did. And obviously it's been we could say a controversial week so far for Tristan Jarry, and it's only Wednesday. So that's I'm sure he was glad to get in and start playing some hockey too. But I think for him, obviously, right out of the gate with only 30 seconds or so, the Oilers forced him into making a couple of big saves, and it looked like he was a bit what would be the word, like loose, I suppose, in the way he was making those saves. But I thought he calmed down quite well, and it seemed like the Oilers weren't allowing too many major chances after that. Obviously allowed the goal against, but I don't think that's one he should look back on and be upset about. It was a good tip from Nichushkin, but he just seemed to control himself and stay calm in there. And I thought he was very structured as the game went on. And again, like he said in his postgame too, is like the team played well in front of me. And I think that's been a big problem. While Jarry has not been anything good, honestly, since coming back from his injury, I don't think the teams played too well in front of him, but I think last night he was a good combination of both. And we'll see how much they have to rely. I would imagine he gets the next game just because of obviously the circumstances. But it sounds like Ingram won't be out too long. But nevertheless, like if the Oilers are going to do anything this playoffs, they do need Tristan Jarry to gain some confidence and find his game again.
Yeah, and we're going to find out in a hurry because the Oilers can't mess around. They're going to have to call a goaltender up, Cal Pickard from Baco. If Connor Ingram isn't able to dress or go or whatever here in the near future. I was kind of really wanted to analyze the two of the top defensemen in the league last night, Liam in Cale Makar and Evan Bouchard, and Bouchard had a better game than Makar last night. There can't be people that would say Makar was better than Bouchard last night.
No, and it was great for Bouchard to show up in the way that he did. But to be honest, when was the last time Bouchard really had a bad game? I know he made that mistake the other day against Vegas, wasn't it, shorthanded? But I think overall, Bouchard has just really matured as a hockey player. And that's kind of what we were all screaming at the start of the season. It's like, hey, you've got to be out of this phase now where you're making these huge mistakes, which is just resulting in goals against. And he's really been able to eliminate it. And I think with the way the Oilers' blue line has struggled a lot this season, it's almost elevated and just shown us how good Evan Bouchard can be. And I also think in a funny way, like him not being on the Olympic team helped his status as well amongst like NHL viewers being like, damn, imagine if the Oilers had Canada had another puck moving defenseman like Bouchard, and if Makar was on the team as well, it would have been a great duo. But yeah, I think last night Bouchard just showed up for Edmonton, and I think he ended up with 2 points, right? And Makar was -1. And don't get me wrong, Makar's still the best defenseman in the NHL, but in those big games, Bouchard showed up this time. And it's no coincidence, I think, too, that the Oilers' power play is #1 in the NHL, and somehow Cale Makar is running the one in Colorado. It's 31st. It's really wild that seems to be it, but I think it just shows how well Evan Bouchard is playing as well.
I got Werenski as #1 as far as blue liners go in the NHL.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, we're splitting hairs, aren't we? Liam Herobin with us on Sports 1440 from Oilers Nation. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 2 more goals last night. I mean, that one on the power play was just unbelievably sick, so tight and going upstairs. And then the second one was pretty good hands as well. And he showed a lot of other stuff last night besides the 2 goals as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the most reliable player on the team, isn't he? I think you always know what you're going to get from Nugent-Hopkins, and he does seem to have these games every now and then where it's like the Oilers really need someone to step up, and Nugent-Hopkins is the guy to do it. And he's just a good utility knife, isn't he? I mean, there's so much you could say about Nuge, but last night, you're right, like those 2 goals, like sometimes you forget that he was the first overall pick in the NHL because he's just been around for so long, but he's a highly skilled elite player. He was obviously at the orientation camp for Canada as well. Wasn't totally out of the conversation for that. I think he's still among the league's best for 2-way forwards. So yeah, it was nice to get him rewarded because his offense hasn't been as consistent as you would probably expect it to be for a top line player, but again, showed up in a pivotal moment.
Yeah, 2 points shy of 800 now in his career. That would make him the 7th player in franchise history to reach that milestone. Also, when Colton Dach went out quite early, really, that left him with 11 forwards, and they really had to juggle the lines around. How did you make about the effectiveness of that? And even guys like Jack Roslovic saw, obviously more ice and was in different situations on different lines. And Roslovic came up with that big goal that we were talking about late in the second period.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny, isn't it? Like, as much they've finally found like a bit of consistency in their lines, and now guys just get injured and they just have to mix it all up again anyway. But I thought Colton Dach, just on him, I think he's had a really good impact on the team since he come in. I know he's only played very few minutes when he has been on the ice, but unfortunate to see him leave the game. I do like his physicality, but yeah, I think the Oilers should have enough forwards here to be able to do this consistently and move things around. They got a very versatile group. Obviously, a guy like Nuge can play center as well, but it would be nice. I'm curious to see. I think Henrique was initially labeled to play yesterday's game, but I think that maybe was more of a thing of like, okay, well, Szymanski's still on this emergency recall. Like, we have to say Henrique's going to play. until he really can't play. So yeah, I think the Oilers are just so used to jumbling lines all the time that it's nothing unusual for them. How much did Draisaitl and McDavid even play together yesterday? It didn't seem like it was too much.
Yeah, again, the lines had to be mixed up a fair bit, and then when you think about power plays and things like that, but McDavid was just under 24 minutes, and Hyman was 21:02. So I mean, when you looked at the lines, the way they were set up because of the 11 forwards, and even guys like Szymanski was sometimes he was floating around with some certain combinations too. So. That's just the way it goes. And then the same with the defense. I mean, you got to give credit to the defense when one of the guys goes down, and Emberson played 5.5. So that's just part and parcel of where teams have to go when guys are injured. And, we just even talked about the possibility of Pickard getting called up again. You got to think about where they are with a forward and a defenseman. Yes, Spencer Stasny's probably the number 7 guy, and he's ready to come in here. But I agree with you, Liam, in the sense that you're finally, in the last 3 games here after the trade deadline, you're finally seeing a little consistency. You're seeing maybe some chemistry being built between guys like, say, Frederick and Doc, who seem to enjoy that physical aspect. So this could throw a little bit of a wrench into things here in the next bit.
Yeah, you just hope Henrique is available to come back next game and then kind of keep a bit of consistency in that way. I wonder, in that regard too, would they move Frederick back up the lineup and maybe put him alongside Paul Colson? I thought that duo was pretty solid when they were playing together. Obviously on the blue line, Stasny's just going to come in and they're going to have to figure that out. But I do think at the trade deadline, as much as I like the moves that Bowman made, I thought they were one defenseman shy. I think back to last playoffs, John Klingberg, wasn't he their 8th defenseman until he ended up coming to the lineup? You had Troy Stetcher as well. Josh Brown ended up playing a game or two. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else. But it's if another defenseman comes down here, who are you calling up? Atro Lepinen? I don't know how much I want him to play a playoff game.
I guess Regula, right? And he'd be next on the list, right?
Yeah, Regula, I suppose he's Regula's had a bit of a tough run here. I think he's a bit of an underappreciated player. I think he's got some good skill. But yeah, again, Regula to John Klingberg, it's not much of a comparison, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Talk about going in from the frying pan into the fire. You got Dallas tomorrow, and right now I think Dallas 12-1 in its last 13. If you really think about it, I mean, their time is running out here. Time is running out. But if you look at it, how the Central Division is shaken down, I mean, Dallas is 5 points back of Colorado right now, just 5 back of Colorado. So things are tightening up there.
And it seems like Colorado too, no Landeskog yesterday, no MacKinnon. I wonder how much that is long-term stuff, or just hey, we're so far ahead of actually we're gonna make the playoffs. We just won't play you guys tonight. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure Colorado will still finish up winning that division. But it's good to see so many tight races around the entire league for divisions.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to be in 2 or 3, do they, Liam, in the Central? Because then you're going through 2 very difficult teams instead of just one. With Colorado, right now they'd be looking at Seattle in the opening round. So, I mean, that's how the difference between 1, 2, and 3 is. When you look at the Pacific here, Anaheim's come on here. Do you like Anaheim in the division, or do you like the Oilers? To me, Vegas doesn't look like the team that they once were either right now. But I think where the Oilers are trending, I think that they could catch Anaheim easily, but the Ducks are playing really well too.
Yeah, I think the Ducks really deserve to be in the position they are. If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, at least they're the only team in the Pacific to have more wins than losses this season, which is just a crazy stat considering there's 7 other teams in the division and 2 of them still make the playoffs. So that's really wild to me. I think they deserve to win the division. I still think the Oilers have a really good chance because of the way they've been able to turn it around these last 2 games. I think they're limiting high danger chances against, and I think that's just going to help them down the road. As little offense they're getting in shot production more, I would say it doesn't really matter. It's shown that they can still be productive with the limited opportunities they're getting. So if you ask me today, I think the Ducks will win the division just because they're young, they're hot right now, and I think they're just building up confidence. But I don't think the Oilers are out of it. I do think Vegas is out of the divisional running now.
I look at it too, Liam. I mean, you think about the, how things get forged in a team, how metal sharpens metal and steel sharpens steel. And the Oilers have that in their back pocket because of what they've accomplished in the last 2 years. Anaheim doesn't have that. So this is new to them going down the stretch. And all of a sudden, some bullets start flying that are bigger games, more important games. I want to see how this young team reacts for sure. So what do you got coming up on Oilers Nation here, Liam?
I think we have Jeff Merrick on the show today, so that'll be really good. And then I am off for the next couple of days. I'm heading out to Penticton. I get to watch the V's play the Everett Silvertips on Friday, and then a little bit of CSHL playoffs as well. So it's going to be a busy couple of days.
So you got to do some scouting out there then too as well?
Yeah. Big event. A lot of the top prospects will be there. It's hosted in Penticton, so that's really convenient for us. And then I get to see two of the best teams in the Western League go head to head.
Is that like a showcase weekend? How it works? Or
it's like it's the CSHL championship. So they get their champions, essentially their playoffs, I guess you could call it. So it's really good. A couple of teams from Edmonton will be there, and then BC, one from Saskatchewan, all over.
Which teams from here, Liam?
OHA Edmonton, and then NAX will be there, and then Edge from Calgary, and then the International Academy, and then Saha as well in Southern Alberta Medicine Hat.
We've asked you all year about Penticton and how maybe the success has surprised you. I think at the start of the year, Liam, you said, I think just because of everything coming together, but has that waned for you a little bit? And then now you're sort of, everyone gets that belief. You start thinking, okay, we deserve to be where we are here.
Yeah. The Memorial Cup's only in Kelowna as well, so it's not too far of a drive. But
there's a lot of work to go before that. Huh?
Definitely is. But to be honest, I think that's kind of just become the standards. Like, we've done so well this season, however long, I think it was a 15-16 game win streak. We've beaten some of the top teams in the league. Our players have shown so much resilience and proven that they deserve to be in this league despite not being in it for most of them. And having only one NHL draft pick in Jacob Kwasnika, Ryan Evans did sign for Seattle the other day, which is great for him. But it's been awesome. Like, most wins in the CHL history for an expansion team. It's been an incredible season. I'm really excited to be a part of it all. And also I get to see my first game against Everett on Friday. So it should be a blast.
Cool. Well, you know what they say, Liam, it all comes down to scouting, doesn't it?
I completely agree, especially the Alberta regional scouting area.
Yeah. Hey, as always, thanks for coming on. Enjoy your trip out there and the scouting weekend, and enjoy the game too as well. Take care, Liam. Thanks a lot. Man.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Liam Herobin from Oilers Nation, and our Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. And again, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. Check them out at fountaintire.com. When we come back, maybe we'll hear from Oilers head coach Chris Knoblock following last night's Oilers 4-3 win over the Colorado Avalanche, and that win puts the Oilers technically ahead of Vegas in the Pacific Division standings. Both teams have 72 points. Both teams have 65 games played. Both teams are 3 back of Anaheim, who has a game in hand, but the Oilers have them in the ROW win column. They have the Vegas Golden Knights. When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach from last night's win. It's a Kevin Karius show presented by Sports Select with the Duke of Delburne on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
The Jedi return to Rogers Place.
Saturday night, your Edmonton Oil Kings look to trap the Brandon Wheat Kings in Carbonite for the annual Star Wars game. Catch characters on the concourse for out-of-this-world selfies, Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. Plus, the Oil Kings will wear special Star Wars-themed jerseys that'll be auctioned and raffled off in support of Sorrentino's Compassion House. The Edmonton Oil Kings Star Wars game.
Saturday at 7. Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly. Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Got that feeling? The one that makes you want to roll the windows down and just drive? A puddle! That's not just spring fever, that's a sign that it's time to visit Nisku Ford. They've got the cure for your driving fever with their biggest offers of the year. Get rebates as high as $12,000 on select new models, or drive away with 0% interest. Don't just dream about the open road, own it. Find your cure for spring fever at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 747 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Trev texts into 833-401-1440. Any update on the Oilers players that got injured last night? Well, we talked about it a little bit, quite a bit here this morning already, Trev. And there was no update last night. We'll hear a little bit about that from head coach Chris Knoblock momentarily. But again, Ty Emerson left after playing, the bulk of the first period. But he took about 2 or 3 hellacious hits. It was physical early. And I mean, that hit right off the hop with Emerson and Ross Colton, man. That's how that whole first goal started. And then Colton Dock was injured basically on his second shift, I believe it was. Just got to run in with Josh Manson, Colorado defenseman, in the corner. And you could see right away the way he was skating off that something was up. And it was, to be honest with you, it was hard to tell what it was. But he was on the bench momentarily and then went down the tunnel and did not return. Man, lots of texts regarding the MacKinnon crease hit on Connor Ingram. A lot of people I thought it was a 2 also, but what would you think if it was Bennett? And we had Bennett, Kadri, etc. All these other guys that people are texting in. IMAX says, shouldn't the additions of 5 and 16, Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson be talked about more? They were good again last night. They've been good since they started. Maybe the first game, just, because you just arrive, you don't even know anyone in the room kind of thing. But they are settling in nicely for sure. 833-401-1440. Doug says, you're right on about the crease depth. I meant to say MacKinnon may not have intended to hurt Ingram, but there was obviously going to be contact on the play. And again, I think the depth in the crease is big because a lot of these collisions happen at the top of the crease. That's way different than when a guy's cutting in and he is basically damn near the goal line when he enters the blue. So after the game, head coach Chris Knoblock addressed the media, including our Mark Spector. Paige Martin was there as well from Oilers Plus and had these post-game comments.
I just think of I don't know, the whole night maybe. So much was going on basically from the first all the way to the final whistle.
It was an exciting game. They came out flying. They scored on the first shift, and we responded nicely a couple times. I think the goal at the end of the first period was huge with Roslovic scoring that. Nice play by Leon. Probably if we don't score that, maybe it's a lot harder to get back into that game. And then, the special teams were key for us. On the 5-minute major, we had several good chances early in that 5-minute major. Then after that, it kind of tailed off. But huge power play goal and then a huge kill.
Chris, how much is this game an example of where you guys can be and what this team is capable of?
Yeah, that was one of our better games tonight, and a lot of, just simplicity to our game. I thought the guys worked really hard. Reloads, the back check, the defenseman checking, those fine details we needed to do every single night, and tonight it was done very well.
Do you have
any update on all the injured people?
No updates. I'm not sure how long some of the guys. We'll wait till after the night to know exactly how bad they are.
Can we say, or can we assume that it was concussion protocol that takes Ingram out?
It was concussion protocol. He's feeling well. Obviously, that can change, but he was not allowed to come back. Not because of just because of concussion spotter.
What did you think of what was 5 but could have turned into 2 and stayed as a major on the Nathan MacKinnon, Connor Ingram play?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. You obviously have to protect your goalies. Whether it was accidental, well, obviously it wasn't on purpose, but it's something you have to be careful with the goaltenders. So, we weren't able to take advantage of it with any goals on that power play, but obviously they lost a good player.
So what about Jarry? Speaking of goaltenders, he's been looking for some traction. He's looking for something good to happen for him here. And he comes in a big game here. Everyone's going to war, and he gives you a great third period to win the game. What's this worth for him, you think?
Oh, it should be, he should feel very good about this. He gets in there and 30 seconds left in the second period, and he's tested 2 times. And then in the third period, he made some big saves, a couple on the power play or Colorado's power play. He should feel very good about this. We're going to definitely need him right away, once or if not twice, going into this back-to-back.
Colorado came into the night with the 3rd best penalty kill in the league. What do you think made your all's power play so effective tonight, getting 2 goals on 4 chances?
Well, I don't know. There's just this power play's been doing all year, over 30%. So, I've seen a lot of good penalty kills, but our guys usually have an answer for it. So whether it's Bouchard's with his shot or McDavid and Drysdale making plays or, Nuge and Hyman finding ways to score goals. So, they do have a good power or penalty kill, but, I just have a lot of respect for our power play.
That's Oilers head coach Chris Knoblock following the 4-3 win last night in Colorado. Travel day to Big D and tomorrow's game against the Stars at the tail end of that conversation and interview. Knoblock was talking about the power play. Again, 2 for 4 last night. So in the last 8 games, the power play is operating at 47.8%. 11 for 23. Last night was the 14th time that the Oilers scored multiple power play goals in a game. And also have to mention that Connor McDavid with the goal and the assist last night. That's points in 19 straight road games dating back to November the 22nd. In that span of 19 road games, 35 points, 12 goals, 23 assists. The only other players to have a road point streak at least this length over the last 40 years was Wayne Gretzky. He had 29 back in 86, 87. And Pat LaFontaine had 22 back in 89, 90. Gretzky and Mario did it again. Patrick Kane would be the longest active streak, and he was at 19 games back in 2018, 2019. So phenomenal road game by the Oilers. And it gets probably even tougher going into Dallas tomorrow, even though the Stars are missing some key personnel. I was talking to someone within the organization in Dallas a little while ago and says, these guys, this team plays so hard. And the guy's been around a long time. And he said, not to diminish other places where I've been, but these guys play hard and they play for each other. So that's where Dallas is right now. The Oilers have shown they can beat them, but that was a big confidence builder for sure last night. Now they got to go into Dallas and see how they could continue this good road trip with wins in Vegas and Colorado to start. Top of the hour, we got Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers pick up a big 2 points last night, beating Colorado 4-3 the final. Connor McDavid at the game-winning goal. Tristan Jarry coming in relief of an injured Connor Ingram, picking up the W. Ty Emerson, Colton Dach also leaving the game and did not return. 12 of the games, around the rest of the NHL. Charlie McAvoy with the OT winners. The Bruins beat the Kings 2-1. Sabres stay hot with a 6-3 win over San Jose. Leafs fall in Montreal 3-1. Flames get blanked by the Rangers 4-0. Winnipeg, feeble effort. They lose to the Ducks 4-1, and the Stars pick up a big 2 points over Vegas, winning 2-1. In the association, the Raptors come up short in Houston, losing 113-99. Kevin Durant leading the way for the Rockets with 29 points. Elsewhere, San Antonio beat Boston 125-116, and a historic night in Miami as Bam Adebayo puts up 83 points for the second most ever in an NBA game, passing Kobe Bryant in Miami's 150-129 win over Washington. From the World Baseball Classic, some action there as well as the United States stunner loss to Italy 8-6 the final. Their playoff chances now in jeopardy, and Canada improves their odds of advancing with a 3-2 win over Puerto Rico. NFL offseason drama continues. The Ravens backing out of the agreement that would have landed them Max Crosby from the Vegas Raiders for 2 first-round draft picks, citing a failed physical as the reasoning, and reports this morning citing the Ravens now going to sign former Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. Coming up in hour 2, the Kevin Karius Show will be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector and Ben Nicholson-Smith from Rogers Sportsnet covering the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Jason Greger isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over 3 million raised for local charities.
And his Greger Foundation.
He's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Greger weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is this Thursday at 9 a.m. with tandem and single axle trucks, including tractors, decks, dumps, man lifts, plows, vacs, pickers, refuse, and shunt trucks, plus more. Info at maauctions.com.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Commissioner Allen Auctioneering's 3-day Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is this Friday at 9 a.m. featuring backhoes, dozers, digger derrick, forklifts, man lifts, wheel loaders, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Coming up to 8:01 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on the many services that are provided out there. And time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. March Madness is finally here. March Madness is no joke. No giveaways, no phony prizes, just a good old-fashioned deal. See more at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
What's going on, Kevin Karius? How are you, man?
Lots of great vibes and talk so far about last night's game, as you can imagine, Spec. What was that like to see that one in person? Because that was fast, it was quick, it had it all.
Yeah, at times it reminded me it was a little bit almost like Milan-like in terms of how fast the game was, how hard it was executed. I'll tell you what, Makar and MacKinnon, they pass the puck to each other harder than some guys shoot. Like they just rip the puck at each other and catch it like clean and move it along, man. It's, they're good. Everyone knows that. And the Oilers played well too. It was fast hockey, boy. Fun place to see.
Yeah, for me, I just said it was a playoff game, off the top, and that's how it felt. And the momentum swings and everything. Yeah. The buy-in, I thought, the buy-in from the Oilers with block shots and hits, that's what it takes to win. And, a lot of times they haven't had that this year.
No, that's exactly what it takes. You said it perfect. And that's why there's 19 games left. So, yeah, it's just starting on some nights to resemble playoff hockey because here we go. Teams are starting to, we're at the quarter pole here. It's time to start figuring out what playoff hockey is going to look like. And give the Oil credit. Hopefully for their sake, this one lasts. This little spurt of good play and the kind of thing you want to see. And the Oilers team we've expected since November. If they start now and do this through the end of the season, I hate to tell you, but that's going to be more than enough time to have a good playoff run.
Yeah. There were more than just one turning points last night. We get to the big thing in the game, and that was the MacKinnon drive hard to the net and wipe out Connor Ingram. Looking at that in person, that was a violent collision, Spec, just on TV. Man, in person, that must have been even a little bit more violent to see it in person.
Yeah, it was. I haven't seen a goalie get hit that hard in a long time.
Yeah.
So for one, I see that people around the league, certainly on social media, when I was having a beer after the game, everybody was saying that, his toes were pointed a different direction. I heard Bednar. I don't care if their goalie's hurt. I love that much. I think what everyone's missing, I keep seeing the still shot of MacKinnon, whose toes are pointed a little bit north of Ingram. Ingram's falling forward into his path, right? And a goalie's allowed to fall forward into his own crease. Like, just because his path is not right at Ingram, if his path is right through the blue paint, and it was, he's not allowed to run into Ingram if he's fallen over for making a save. So I don't know. Is it 5? I don't know. Was it a double minor? Was it 2? I'm not sure, man. I mean, it's a tough call for the rest, but I guess I'd say to you, it reminds me a little of 2011 when, remember in the final when Aaron Rome knocked Nathan Horton out of the Stanley Cup final, Vancouver-Boston, with that head hit.
Mm-hmm.
And Horton never came back, and they kicked Aaron Rome out for the rest of the series. And at that point, I thought, you know what? That's fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both teams lose a player. And last night, I thought that's fair. If Ingram came back in the third period, I thought, that's not great.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done for the night, and so is MacKinnon. And I don't have a huge problem with it. I can see how Colorado doesn't like it. Sure.
So for me, and as I've been saying, Spec, to me, a lot of it has to do with the depth of where Ingram was. He's and as you say, he's kind of going forward, but he's 2.5 feet from the top of the blue. When this collision happens, and for the most part, every collision that we see in the crease is at the top of the blue, and I think that's where they went towards the 5 because there was a little more room for MacKinnon to go. And everyone's bitching about from the Colorado side that Nurse had something to do with it. I don't know. Nurse took another shot to the head too. He could have been concussed in my mind.
I thought that. I mean, MacKinnon skated right through Nurse too.
Yeah.
MacKinnon he's such a powerful man and skater that I'm not sure that Nurse had a lot to do with his path, frankly. I don't think, certainly the refs weren't convinced he did. It's a hard play. Because we're not arguing about what MacKinnon did. We're arguing about what he might have done had Nurse not pushed him. And that means we're kind of hoping and thinking and looking at the angle of his toes. And I don't know. Listen, man.
Yeah.
Colorado's got such a good team. They've won so many games. They got everything going good for them. Last night they got what they consider the short end of the stick. Hey, guess what? It's an 82-game season. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah,
Suck
for
it up.
sure. Maybe in the bigger picture is how Tristan Jarry performed, because they need this guy to get his game back, and especially now with who knows what's up with Connor Ingram. Yeah. But man, he was good in the third.
He was, and that's a really big moment for him. He wasn't going to admit it. I'm not sure if he's a little nonplussed by all this stuff that's been floating around on the internet about him and the team and all that, but it hasn't been a great assimilation for Jarry here since he got here. His game hasn't been good. The team in front of him hasn't been any good. And this team's just like all our listeners. They're looking at their new goalie going, this is the guy that's supposed to get a Stanley Cup,
yeah.
Right? So last night was like the team was immersed in this titanic battle with the best team in the league. They're holding their own. It's a heavyweight fight. And all of a sudden, Jarry's got to come in and finish this thing off. And for him to succeed and deliver the 2 points and make big saves and show up for the team when they needed him and when counted on, it's a really big moment in this whole Tristan Jarry Oilers thing. This is something that hopefully for his sake, he can stretch this into something.
You must have been thinking, what the hell's going on here 4-on-4 when they open it up here with 30 seconds left? Like, it should be, let's just get to the third man. We don't need Jarry to face 2 high-quality chances in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, the Oilers still struggle with that. I also thought when the goalie was pulled, they made a couple of irresponsible plays at the end of the game that kept it alive. I'm not talking about McDavid missing an open net. That just happens. But I thought they made a couple of passes and plays that breathed life into Colorado's attack there. That's still going to be Edmonton's Achilles heel is the kind of cute play they always want to make. But, hey, that's the team you got.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what you're saying, even at the very end after, Connor had the puck in the corner, just eat it in there, right? Instead, they throw it out. Now it's 11 seconds left and Colorado's still on the rush. And did you see how fast and how hard Connor was coming back? Because he knew, he goes, I should have just eaten that puck.
Oh, my God. Eat it. Throw it behind the net. Don't like he threw it towards his own zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the night before, it was Bouchard who made a play on that in that moment. Really a similar moment, right? In Vegas. Short a power play. The other team's got no chance at nothing, and he throws a puck cycle in the slot. Now it's a 1-goal game. So listen, let's not take apart some pretty fine work. Like McDavid scores the winner. The team was good. McDavid's playing some version of hurt here, and he's gutting it out after Milan and playing unbelievably awesome.
And he had 3 draws in the first spec, correct?
Yeah, didn't take another.
Yeah.
So I don't ask me what's going on there. No one's talking about it. No one's there. I mean, it's a state secret. If McDavid's nursing something, you couldn't get that out of Knoblock with truth serum.
Well, and what's funny is that not funny, but Kulak is the guy that gave him that little slash on the hand that they got the first power play of the game.
Yeah, and it was a pretty minor slash, but hey, it's
on the hands.
What's that?
It's on the hands, right? And that
they get called everywhere in every game. I watch games across the league all the time. That call gets called, and sometimes it doesn't get called. I'm not telling you they're completely consistent, but whatever. It's just you slap a great player on the other team's best player across the gloves. They're trying to get rid of that because guys have busted hands and fingers and wrists over the years, and that's just the way the game's played. If you don't like it, go play another game.
Well, he's got a 19-game road point scoring streak going, 35 points. That was his 75th career game-winning goal. And again, that was against, it's a power play goal. That's against Taves and Makar standing. Makar's on the one side, and Taves is he basically turned into a turnstile and a little pirouette and bang bang. Great give and goal on the game-winning goal for sure. Mark Spector with us here on Sportsnet on Sports 1440. Evan Bouchard last night, Spec, again made some great plays. He's putting himself into this Norris Trophy 3 finalist conversation. He is playing at the best level that we've seen him in the regular season, probably in his career.
Yeah, that's subjective, but I'll tell you what, he's not going to play much better. He is playing awesome. He's playing huge minutes and really, really steady hockey. I mean, he gives you 26-56, just shy of 27 minutes last night. 2 assists plus 2. Find me 3 shots on net, 3 block shots. That's
pair him up against Makar. What Makar like? He played better than Makar last night.
He played better than Makar last night. He did, for sure. Makar had 1 block shot, no points -1. So yes, he did. There you go, head to head. I mean, I do recall the Vancouver series. Quinn Hughes probably wasn't the player then he was now, but Bouchard was 5 times the player Quinn Hughes was in that Vancouver series too. He's A stacks up. Like I guess I'd just say one of the, I'll make it short, but when I was when I was a president of the Professional Hockey Writers Association, we evened our votes out completely. There's as many votes from the West as there is from the East. And the point is, it eliminates, it's not Eastern bias so much. It's guys go to bed out there because the games in the West are late. And there are people who see Bouchard on the highlights. And there's a lot, if Bouchard makes a good play, it might be on the highlights. If he coughs up a goal and makes a terrible play, it's always on the highlights. And some of those highlight voters look at Bouchard like he does that every night, and they're uninformed and they need to get better educated. They need to watch more hockey. That's what gets Bouchard, though, to me, is he makes a gaffe and everyone talks about it. He makes a great play and they go, oh, look at McDavid, look what he did. So,
again, and he had a bad stretch and a bad start to the year, but I'll tell you what,
last time ago. I don't care that much what you did in October, November anymore. Now we're in March here.
Game Spec. And he might have had a hiccup in between there, but he has been really, really good. What about the fact now you finally getting some resemblance of some consistent lines, and I know Henrik and Szymanski could be interchangeable here, but Doc and Frederick were working good together. Now Doc got hurt last night. You get some resemblance of some defense pairings, and Emberson was, finding more and more of a niche.
Playing good.
Those 2 guys get hurt too. So,
injuries happen. That's now you find out, right? So So Szymanski will go to, I mean, if Doc can't play, Szymanski goes to a wing, and Henrique looks like he's ready to come in, hopefully for his sake.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a huge believer in more play for the bottom six, and I get it. It's hard for Knoblock, Kev, because like that line he played in his fourth line last night, Szymanski between Frederick and Doc, none of those guys kill a penalty. And traditionally, that's a place where a head coach gets his fourth line guys some ice time. He's killing penalties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little tougher for them. It's hard to get them out there. They're obviously not in the power play, and they're not in the penalty kill. So you got to give them 5-on-5 time. And sometimes it's hard to find them more than 7 or 8 minutes of that. I get it. But I'm a total believer in two things, right? McDavid and Draisaitl running their own line. You know, now you got Dickinson running a good third line. Man, Dickinson looks like a nice player. And a fourth line that gets 9 minutes, man. That's what I'd like to see. I get it. Doesn't always work out that way.
No, it doesn't. And I get where you're saying, like, if Henrique slides into there instead of Szymanski, then that's one more penalty killer for you.
Yeah, like your fourth line should be penalty killers. And you're not going to figure that out this season.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, like the first two guys over the boards right now are Dickinson and Kapanen. You know, and he's still using McDavid a lot in the PK. He really
and
is.
I think that has to do with Henrique being out. But your entire third line is penalty killers. You know, and Savoy has been one of your best ones all year. So. Yeah,
it's, you know, and really on this team, like I guess, you know, you're probably never going to get it. Like we're asking for a traditional allotment of ice time, Kevin, on a team that has two players like McDavid and Draisaitl. That's not traditional.
Yeah.
You know, most teams with great players, two great players like that, would all have the same issues that we're talking about. So, you know, Knoblock's doing the best he can. How about that?
Yeah. You're heading home today, Spec?
I'm coming home today. Yep. I'm coming home. Teams slept here last night because it was such a late game. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Kicked off at 8:20 or something.
8:18, Spec. 8:18.
Yeah, that's whatever. That's life in the West. Yeah, I'm coming home. I'll be ready for the show tomorrow morning. Do Gregor this afternoon, and in between, I'll fly from Denver to Edmonton, and that's about her, buddy.
What a life! What a life!
Oh yeah, life of glamour, man. Life of glamour.
Well, have fun at that Denver airport. Remember, you know, we talked about it, the intricacies and the tunnels and everything.
Oh, yeah. I got that place down, man. I think I put a blindfold on to find my gate in that joint.
Yeah. Hey, just a quick one about tomorrow. I mean, Dallas, they can't be humming better than what they have been. 12-0-1 in the last 13, beat Vegas last night, 2-1.
Unbelievable. I watched a good chunk of that game. You know who was really good in that game was Ottinger.
Okay.
Vegas well deserved a point in that game, if not two. Ottinger was excellent. And hey, listen, they're also doing this with Rupe Hintz and Mikko Rantanen.
That's right. Yeah.
Basically, the two best forwards. So, you know, I guess I tell you, you know what? I don't mind all of this. They've been beating everybody else. If you're the Oilers, I mean, they are missing two guys. They're going good. They're due to lose sometime. I'll tell you what, the Oil's looking like the Oil's real happy with what's going on here. This was a big road trip. Win, lose, or draw in Dallas. You've really put your stake in the ground here a little bit, beating Vegas and Colorado. So, hey, why not keep her going?
Sounds good, Spec. Safe travels. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Mark Spector on the mark, brought to you powered by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com. When we come back, we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit of baseball with Ben Nicholson-Smith from Rogers Sportsnet. Covers the Blue Jays, but we got to branch off to the World Baseball Classic as well because of what happened between Italy and the United States and Canada and Puerto Rico, and then Canada playing Cuba with an opportunity today to advance. That's straight ahead, right after the break. The Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Island Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt-equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
It's happened again, and construction season is coming soon. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Local Quality Market. Your next dinner is ready with Local Quality Market's gourmet meals. Choose from over 200 chef-prepared meals. Shop local at loca.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8:22 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing, the plumber to call when the toilet mysteriously breaks after your jalapeno pepper popper fueled game night with the fellas. That's mrreuter.ca as we welcome back Ben Nicholson-Smith from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Ben. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to be joining you and talking a little baseball here.
It's that time of the year. Can't wait for it. And we've had some great ball already. And we have to start with the World Baseball Classic and the Italy-USA game, the upset last night, Ben. Can you draw a parallel? Is this like in hockey at the Olympics, Italy beating the Americans? I'm trying to figure out something comparable, but that was massive last night for Italy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a real surprise. And it also has huge implications for Team USA because it appears that the Americans thought they had already advanced. And so they weren't necessarily going into that game with the mindset that they had to win or at least not get outscored by a significant margin. Mm-hmm. So when they did lose by a significant margin, this now puts them in peril of being knocked out of the tournament. And honestly, this is really embarrassing for Team USA's management because, it's not just Mark DeRosa, the manager, but it's everybody behind the scenes who's feeding information to the players and the coaching staff. And that really can't happen. You have to understand the rules of the tournament. And it seems that Team USA did not understand them.
How does that happen between the management? And again, you saw DeRosa's clip. Everyone did, saying that we've wrapped up a playoff spot, still want to win. The players, the broadcasters, even, Ben, at the game last night, they had no concept of how things were progressing, moving forward.
Well, this is where, like in a front office for a major league team, you have people who are responsible for the administration, not only the analytics, but it's the rules of the game. It's making sure you're compliant with all of the rules.
Yeah.
And this is usually the job of an assistant GM or two. And they are going to go over everything. They're going to make sure that you're following the rules. And this is just basic. I mean, there's no excuse for it. It's a massive error on the part of Team USA. We'll see. It might not cost them because, that depends on some of the events of tonight's game between Mexico and Italy. So we'll see how that unfolds. But either way, it's embarrassing. You can't be one of the top baseball programs in the world and then fail to pay attention to details like this. So, we'll see where it goes, but it's a really bad look for Team USA.
Yeah. Ben Nicholson-Smith with us from Rogers Sportsnet on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Canada, great performance, great win yesterday over Puerto Rico, 3-2. And we'll play Cuba today with everything on the line and the chance to advance for the first time. Never in the 5 previous World Baseball Classics has Canada advanced to the quarterfinal round. How big of a game is this for Canadian baseball here, Ben?
Well, I think it's huge because at this point, we've seen Team Canada in pool play many times, and they have had their chances. They've had some big moments, be it a win over Team USA back in the day, or of course there was a brawl with Team Mexico, but ultimately it's about success. It's about, can you advance? And they haven't done that once in a tournament that's now 20 years old. So this is a big chance for Canada, for Ernie Witt. He's been managing every single one of these tournaments. This is a chance for him to say, hey, I am the right guy to be doing this. And this is a way to add to a legacy that's, been decades in the making for him and his role with Baseball Canada. So for the players too, I mean, this is a strong position player group. They have a chance to not only advance, but potentially do some damage in the next round. So it's an exciting time for Canada, but they need to take advantage of this chance and come out and beat Cuba tonight against some tough pitching.
Yeah, for sure. What have you thought? I mean, the play of Owen Casey here. I mean, this is a guy that was traded in the offseason to Miami from Chicago, but he's really hitting the ball well so far in this tournament.
Yeah, he's been great, hasn't he? I mean, you look at him as kind of that power hitting corner outfielder, and you can really see what his pathway is to being an impact major league player. He's got that great left-handed swing, that powerful frame, and probably not going to win Gold Gloves the way Denzel Clark might in center field, but this is a hitter. This is a slugger and a young guy, but someone who has a lot of potential to change the game with one swing, which is a nice thing for Team Canada because they have a bunch of guys that are more contact oriented. Whether it's, your Julien or your Abraham Toro, Denzel Clark himself, probably Bo Naylor's not going to go yard, as much as some of these other guys. So to have the power bats of Naylor and Tyler O'Neill and Owen Casey really adds some balance. And, this Team Canada lineup is good. It's a good lineup. It's not to the level of a Team USA. It's not to the level of the Dominican, but it's a very serviceable, capable major league lineup, maybe even better than that.
What about the pitching last night? Really, really impressive. I mean, Jordan Balazovic was a little, maybe a little bit wild to start. He settled in. Then the guy, what do they call him? The big doctor to finish it out. Man, oh man, there's some guys that really pitched well last night.
Yeah, it was good. And this is what Team Canada needs, right? If they are going to advance, if they are going to, continue to win and continue to advance beyond pool play, then they're going to need to put it together with the pitching staff. They don't have that one dominant pitcher like a Tarek Skubal or a Paul Skeens. a Yamamoto. That's not how they're built. Ideal world, you have a Nick Pivetta, you have a team ace like that, but this is not how they're built this time. So they're going to have to do it as a team, and we saw that last night, which is really encouraging. And now it's time to do it again. Less than 24 hours later, they have to step up and put it together with that pitching staff.
Let's switch gears to the Blue Jays and Ben Nicholson-Smith with us on Sports 1440. First, yesterday's game 7-0 over Atlanta. Ben and Dylan Cease looked really good in that one. What did you make of his start?
Yeah, it's great to see. One of the things that stood out to me is he touched 99 miles an hour, and I don't like to read too much into what spring results are. It doesn't matter if he allows 3 runs, or doesn't matter if he strikes out 6. Those we can read too much into that. But when it comes to something like velocity, I think that it's a little bit more telling, because you just can't fake 99. There are not a lot of players in the major leagues who are starting pitchers who are ever going to touch 99. So it's a big deal. And he said that he's been working on his mechanics to kind of make sure that his command is where it should be. So if he can throw 99 and he's working to command the ball a little bit better, that's really where you start getting into the ace type discussion for Dylan Cease, which is why the Blue Jays signed him for $210 million.
Yeah, I think you reported yesterday, Ben, about Trey Savage and his usage or maybe lack thereof here in spring training. What can you tell us about how things are going to evolve over the next little bit with you, Savage?
Yeah, it's really interesting. He pitched nearly 140 innings last year when you include the playoffs. And a lot of that was in the playoffs. He pitched 28 innings in the postseason. Obviously was great. And clearly the Jays want him again to be healthy and productive, as the season ramps up and as the postseason comes around. Now, they're also mindful of the fact that was really his first professional season of any kind, because he was drafted the previous season. So that was his first chance in professional baseball. They don't want to just throw him out there without any kind of break. So what they're doing is they're ramping him up slowly. He's got plans to go up to 2 innings in a simulated game coming up, but we're only a couple of weeks away from opening day.
Yeah.
So I think at this point we can pretty safely say that it's highly unlikely he'll be stretched out to 5 innings when the season starts, and that will have implications for the rest of the staff.
So do you think he just starts in the bullpen then, or what do you think?
I think he starts as a starting pitcher, but in tandem with somebody else. I think he probably goes 50 or 60 pitches, 3 innings to begin, maybe 4 if he's really efficient.
Yeah.
And then, after 3 innings, it's the 4th inning, time for Eric Lauer to come in. Or maybe it's Cody Ponce. We'll see how they arrange things, but I think that he is going to be used in tandem with someone else.
Does Max Scherzer fall into that category too, to maybe possibly used in tandem?
Well, I would have thought that if we were talking 2 weeks ago, but at this point, I was there on the weekend when Max Scherzer pitched against the Phillies in Clearwater, and he was really good for 4 innings, 40 pitches. So if he's already at 4 innings, you add 1 more, and you're pretty much where you should be to start the season, to be at 5-6 innings. So Scherzer says he's ready. I think the Jays, are going to start the season with him in the rotation.
Yeah. What about Ricky Tiedemann too, as well, Ben?
Well, exciting young prospect, but as of now, he's just building up. There's clearance for him to throw and build up, which is good. He was on pause for a little while earlier in the spring. So they had him kind of controlling his workload just to build up slowly, because he had Tommy John surgery last year, but it's going to be slow with him. I wouldn't count on him to begin the majors in the first, month or 2 of the season.
Yeah. What's it been like? You've gone through this before, but when you're covering a team in spring training where, I don't know how many players are at the World Baseball Classic totally, but some are in and out and things like that. But how do you evaluate and assess maybe the Jays going into a year like this, maybe compared to last year or something like that?
Yeah, it is different because you certainly have a lot of the star players away, Vladdy and Okamoto, and Clement and Jimenez, Kirk. It is different, but at the same time, in spring training, you're kind of used to seeing all kinds of different players, and it's not that different. There's still so many people around. It's not like it's quiet. Like there's still dozens and dozens of players, some of whom are big personalities. You've got all the coaches, you've got all the support staff. So it's still a very busy time. There's still dozens and dozens of players trying to make an impression. It's slightly different because you don't have Vladdy. I mean, he is a big personality, so you do notice when he's around. But, someone like a Kirk, he's quiet either way. So it's not like you see a little bit more of the Brandon Valenzuelas of the world. You see a little bit more of Tyler Heineman, the backups behind Kirk. But it's not a huge difference.
Yeah. I saw that picture of Kirk. You just mentioned him. That's with, I guess, Luis Arraz, who they've been friends since they were 10 years old. And they showed that picture the other day. Man, they just look so young. And Kirk still kind of got the big, the cherub-cheeked look on him. I don't know if you saw that picture, Ben.
Yeah, I have. I think I've seen one with Kirk and Jonathan Aranda of the Rays.
Yeah,
really cool.
Aranda.
Really
sorry,
cool.
Yeah.
So it's it's a lot of stories like that at the World Baseball Classic where you have some really just guys who've done it for a long time. I mean, you think about Paul Skeens and some of the junior Team USA photos I've seen. I mean, it's wild. These guys, Pete Crow Armstrong, like they were playing on the 12U Team USA, and now here they are. It's kind of remarkable that they've still got it, and they're still on the same team.
No kidding. I mean, such good stories for sure. Ben Nicholson-Smith with us on the Kevin Carey Show here on Sports 1440. One more Jay's question, then I got to double back to the World Baseball Classic. But how do you see the bullpen unfolding here? We've had several guests, that are, your colleagues down in Dunedin saying, well, maybe it's a little more bullpen by committee as far as the closer role goes. How do you see things panning out with what they have to offer in the pen here, Ben?
Yeah, I do think Jeff Hoffman's the closer. I don't think there's a lot of ambiguity there, but I think with that being said, the Jays are going to try to manage his workload just a little bit differently. I mean, there might be times that instead of using Hoffman 3 days in a row, or, we saw them early last year, they would use Hoffman for 2 innings in extra innings games, and it worked, but, it might have got him out of rhythm a little bit. So I think they might use him 2 days in a row, and then the third day you close it out with Louis Varland, for example. Or, let's say Hoffman's been down for 3 days, they're going to get him into games. Like they don't want him sitting on the sidelines. So, if you're up 6-1 and he hasn't been used in 3 days, he's coming into that game. So I think we'll see that to a degree, but Varland, he could get 5 to 15 saves. Wouldn't surprise me, but I think the main guy is gonna be Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah. I lied. One more Jay's question for you. Sorry, Ben, but just with Eloy Jimenez, do you think he makes the opening day roster? And is there, man, if he could get even close to where he was as a rookie, I mean, that would be just a massive signing.
It really would. I mean, especially on a minor league deal. I think as of now, no, I don't see him on the opening day roster. I do think we see him in the majors at some point this year. And I'll be really intrigued to see what he can do because there's a pretty big range of what the possibilities are.
What about Jose Barrios? And that's the last one I got for you about. He thought he was going to the WBC, then not going. What happened there?
I think it comes down to insurance issues, where, when I've talked to Barrios in the last couple of weeks, he's indicated that he hasn't really known. It's been unclear to him this entire time whether he can go, whether he can't go. He wants to. He was building up with that in mind. So he really wanted to contribute to Team Puerto Rico. And it seems like the team wanted him, of course, but it doesn't seem like they could get the insurance paperwork cleared. And so as a result, he's staying in Blue Jays camp.
Ben, great update. Thanks so much for this. Enjoy this Canada-Cuba game today, and hopefully the Canadians can win this one and move on to the quarterfinals. It's going to be awesome. Thanks a lot for coming.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be really fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's Ben Nicholson-Smith from Rogers Sportsnet. Our headliner of the day brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Your top defense pairing against leaks. That's mrrooter.ca. Hey, when we come back, we'll get to some of your texts at 833-401-1440. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
NHL Star Sticks are back in McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhardt, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Crave presents a new must-see original crime drama.
You think you can just walk away with drug money and nobody's going to come find you?
The Borderline.
You killed my friend.
Set along the Thousand Islands border, a cop blurs the line to protect his past.
I'm going to keep you out of jail.
Starring Stephen Amell, Tamara Podemski, Hamza Haq, and Minnie Driver.
Did you catch the bad guys?
I always catch the bad guys.
The Borderline. Stream now. Only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
The weather doesn't care about your shift or your schedule. Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts let you battle back against the ever-changing elements. Carhartt's durable, water-repellent technology lets light rain beat up and roll right off. Layer up and stay on the job longer without getting drenched. Get your Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations.
Job site workwear, tough different jobs.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:43 in Edmonton. The Kevin Karius Show is presented by Sports Select. And it's so easy to play. Just visit sportselect.com, generate the QR code. You can check the how to play videos. It's a step-by-step guidance and instruction. Sportselect.com. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Adam Schefter also reporting, and this comes on the heels of Trey Hendrickson signing in Baltimore, Duke, 4 years, $112 million. The Ravens have reworked the contract of Lamar Jackson to create about $40 million in cap space. So I guess one hand washes the other sort of thing here. And that creates $40 million in cap space for this season. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, done it already. So you got Hendrickson at 4 years, 112. Lamar says, we'll rework things, and there's some money to work with for Hendrickson. So also, after reporting the NFL is exploring to add a game on Thanksgiving Eve, Duke, now. The quest for world domination by the NFL. They
cannot be stopped, Kevin. They can't be stopped.
What date? Is there any date that's left that they could possibly exploit?
Tuesdays, I guess. And they always say with very few exceptions, like the first Friday of the season and then maybe Christmas or whatever, Black Friday now, of course. Yeah. They always say they don't want to play on Fridays because they don't want to take away from high school football.
Until the season's done.
Yeah, that's right. And then, but they say that while they do still play 4 or 5 games on Fridays, maybe 3, I guess.
I couldn't remember what day that Christmas falls on this year. It's a Friday.
Oh, good. Yeah, right on. Well, I mean, hey, I doubt they're playing high school football on Christmas Day.
I get it too, but
take it for what it's worth. But
I'm thinking of, well, there's really no other holiday that they could exploit. Well, like, I mean, the only, like we have, they celebrate, well, not celebrate, they recognize, like we do November 11th. They're a little different how they
Veterans Day is it's on the calendar, but I don't think it's more bank holiday.
Memorial Day for them, right?
Right. The May Memorial Day is their holiday to honor veterans and service people. So that's bigger. It's kind of a bigger deal for them, I guess. Whereas here, more of the Commonwealth, I suppose, November 11th is the larger date.
Yeah. Triple C in a truck says, I think the Chiefs played every day but one last year, and that's true because we talked about that.
Yes.
The first time in the history of the NFL. Montana to Rice, is Crosby going to look good with Boza, KK?
Oh, geez.
Well, you might as well get Triple C and MTR to start.
Going at each other again here?
Yeah. Cat Dad says, watch them do a game in Toronto during Canadian Thanksgiving. So in October.
Do it.
I remember those games in Toronto. Do you, Duke? Or not?
I remember. I couldn't tell you a actual memory from them, but I remember them being played.
Yeah,
for sure. And like they played regular. Like the Bills would play a regular season game there, right?
I mean, that was the thing because it was the Bills, and there were so many Bills fans in Toronto. The games were obviously very popular. I wonder if they will ever come back to a Canadian. I mean, the only other place that could house a game would be BC Place, really, that they would look at. I mean, they could look at Commonwealth Stadium, but I don't know if that would ever be something that they would even. Having said that, the way that they're going all over the world here, Duke.
Canada seems pretty low on their priority list, I think.
Pretty well last on the priority list.
Play everywhere but.
Had a text come in. I can't remember who the texter was, Duke, that sent in the stats of Evan Bouchard since November the 1st. 53 games played by Bouchard, 17 goals, 51 assists, plus 26. So when you think about the terrible start that Bouchard had, and then there was, a couple of games that he was really bad. I mean, Bouchard he has to be in the top 3 right now in my mind for Norris. I had him at 4 after watching last night. I think I probably have him at 3 now. So and you've seen his odds too, Duke. His odds that have started the season and then how it progressed. The odds to win the Norris were astronomical. Now, I don't know what they are, Duke, but they have to be somewhat in the mix of, where the other guys are. On the season, Evan Bouchard continues to lead all defensemen in points with 75. Werenski's at 68. Makar's at 66. Lane Hudson set a record for most assists at 150 by his age, the youngest guy. He's at 65.
I've got Evan Bouchard currently going off at plus 650.
Okay.
For the Norris Trophy, trailing only. It's essentially, from an odds perspective, a 3-horse race. Cale Makar is still the clubhouse leader at minus 105. Zach Werenski plus 125, and Evan Bouchard at plus 650. After that, it's a pretty steep drop. Quinn Hughes at plus 1800 next up.
Yeah. EG just says, no points in Bouchard's first 7-8 games. That's exactly what we just said. 53 games, the last 53 games since November 1. He's at 17 goals, 51 assists. Remarkable.
Just while we're on the year-end award, since we're in the final quarter of the season, Kev, we've talked about the Hart Trophy quite a bit this year, right? And there's debate, McKinnon,
what do you got
McDavid, Celebrini, if he can drag the Sharks in, does he deserve a more love for it? And this is a name that has come up a lot, and it's not just from us, not just from people out east. It's been across the board, is Zach Werenski, if the Jackets are able to find their way in, right?
Yeah.
Even with all the discussion that Zach Werenski has had, at 5th place, he is still plus 50,000 to win the Hart Trophy. I might sprinkle that.
Why not?
I think you got to sprinkle.
Why not?
McDavid plus 800, Celebrini plus 800, Kucherov plus 260, and Nate McKinnon minus 180.
Kucherov again is having a phenomenal year, man. Really good year.
And for the Calder, you can bet Matthew Schaefer or the field.
Mm-hmm. Really, because your buddy there and.
So this specific
book
I'm looking at, there's 2 different odds lists for the Calder. One has Schaefer, Seneca, Demidov, and Wallstedt all listed. The other has Schaefer versus the field. Both is Schaefer minus 5,000. The field is plus 1,300. Seneca's plus 2,000.
Start of the year, everyone had Demidov, right, Duke? Everyone.
I think he would have been a lot of people's choice for sure.
Remember, I took Jimmy Snuggerud just as a flyer.
He's having a great season in St. Louis, a little bit under the radar because the Blues stink.
Yeah.
But he had actually a nice night last night again as well.
He's 32 points. A couple points, he's going to be 4th because Leonard's at 33, Kapanen's at 33. Hey, should mention Oliver Kapanen. That's another great rookie. He got his 20th goal last night, I believe, for Montreal, and he picked up a cool $200,000.
Is that his bonus?
There's a little bonus.
Not too bad.
You take that, hey Duke?
Yeah, I would take it. My 11 game parlay yesterday, Kevin did not hit.
Yeah, well,
can't win them all.
You can't 8's the max, Duke.
I guess so. This should be a lesson. And don't try and push the limit. Don't get greedy. If I'd been a little more selective, I think I ended up going only 7 for 11. So even if I'd had to pick the right 8, it wouldn't have been enough. But hey, over in Avalanche and Oilers.
Jay and Victoria text in to 833-401-1440. Bouchard's been great. Frederick looking a lot better. Bottom of the lineup may have not lit the lamp a lot, but at least now they're physical. Love the Frederick fight again last night. Yes, good point. And of course, Pods is my boy. It was weird. Right before that fight, Podkolzin and Parker Kelly got kind of tangled up, and it looked really innocent. And you couldn't tell if it was a stick or a glove, just the way, I don't know if I saw a good replay on it, but Podkolzin went off. He was stunned for a couple of seconds, and then it looked like he was almost thinking about going down the tunnel, but stayed up. I mean, that's a tank. That's the big Russian tank, Matt Leduc says, Duke, 8 isn't the max, but everyone knows 8 is enough. And that, Duke, you wouldn't even know what the hell he's talking about. But that used to be an old TV show, Duke. 8 is enough with Dick Van Patten. And what happened was...
I've never even heard of that guy.
Oh, no, this Dick Van Patten. Oh, massive. Well, okay. His son is the commentator on all the poker stuff you see.
Yeah, all the poker I watch.
Okay, well, I thought maybe you did.
No.
That's his son that does all the poker. But
watching people play cards is about as entertaining for me as watching people play video games.
So what in the storyline of this 8 is enough, Duke, what happened was this guy, Dick Van Patten, had 8 kids. And then I think his wife passed away. And then...
Was this like a reality show or a sitcom?
No, it wasn't a sitcom. It was
like a drama?
Life. Yeah, drama, I guess. There were some funny parts of it. But anyway, so then he remarried, and now the mom comes in, the stepmom.
Right.
And has to basically, some of the kids were quite old. They were.
Well, yeah, if you have 8.
Yeah. But they were still, I remember the song. Yeah. 8 is enough.
What about, there was a reality show where these two people had I think it was 8 kids. They weren't there was another one where a woman had octuplets, did she not? Maybe I'm
Oh,
misremembering.
yeah, no, you're
but
right.
there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
one show, I think it was
Yeah.
maybe Tom and Kate plus 8.
Yeah.
That was where just the regular parents with just 8 kids, and like you
Mhm.
said, age ranging from like 17 to a newborn.
Oh,
But
you're
then there
correct,
was
Duke.
then there was the Octomom,
You-
if my memory serves correct.
You are correct. You know, Kenneth, he texted in, he's just a Bouchard hater. Come on, Kenneth. You watch the other parts of the game, too. There were plays last night that Bouchard made without Connor and Leon on the ice. He says slow start from 97 and 29, not just 2. Since November or December, he has 1 point without 97 and 29 on the ice. This isn't an award for guys that need to be babysat.
Well,
You know-
how is that true, Kenneth? Because how much have we talked about the need for improvement in the defensive game of McDavid and Draisaitl?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a lot of babysitting going on out there.
And does Makar not play with MacKinnon?
More, I believe
mean,
the
more.
stat reads that he spends more time on ice with MacKinnon than McDavid does with Bouchard.
So, I mean, your argument just doesn't hold water, Kenneth. Look at all the other stuff. And don't just look for the bad play. Guys are going to turn the puck over. What's the stat? I think MacKinnon has 30 or 40 more giveaways this year than Bouchard, which, again, you can't take a lot of stock in because you look at the stats and you go, well, that's not what happened tonight. The way they hand things out, don't hand them out as far as giveaways, hits, things like that. But don't just hate on the guy just because of how it is. Come on, Kenneth. Top of the hour, David Schlimco's going to be sliding in, our co-host for Cougar Paint and Collision. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers picking up a big win last night, 4-3 the final over the Colorado Avalanche. Connor McDavid with the game winner. Tristan Jarry picking up the W, coming in relief for Connor Ingram, who was injured towards the end of the second period on a collision with Nathan MacKinnon, who was ejected from the game. Edmonton also losing Colton Dack and Ty Emberson to injury over the course of the contest. 12 of the games around the NHL. The Bruins get a big win over LA, 2-1 in overtime. Chucky McAvoy with the game winner there. Sabres stay hot, doubling up the Sharks 6-3. Maple Leafs lose in Montreal 3-1. Flames blanked by the Rangers 4-0. Red Wings fall to the Panthers 4-3. Islanders get past the Blues 4-3 in overtime. Stars stay hot with a win over the Knights 2-1. And the Jets, feeble effort against Anaheim. Ducks take it 4-1. From the association, busy night there as well with 11 games. The Raptors come up short in Houston, 113-99 the final for the Rockets. Kevin Durant leading the way with 29 points. And a record-setting night in Miami. Bam, Adebayo, 83 points, the second most ever in an NBA game, passing Kobe Bryant for the honors in Miami's 150-129 win over the Wizards. From the World Baseball Classic, Canada keeps their playoff chances alive with a 3-2 win over Puerto Rico, and a stunner as Italy beats the United States 8-6, putting U.S.'s playoff chances now in jeopardy. From the NFL offseason, big news coming yesterday afternoon is the Ravens backing out of their trade agreement to acquire Max Crosby from the Raiders. 2 first-round picks would have been going the other way, citing as a failed physical the reason for nixing the deal. Ravens pivoting, they signed former Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson to a contract. 4 years, $112 million is the report. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff, as well as our Wednesday co-host, former NHL defenseman David Schlimco. I'm Brandon Douglas, that's your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440,
A Stingray radio station.
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
At GS Construction, every winter plan becomes a spring project. Every repaired line and every improved system is how we build the next chapter of Edmonton's infrastructure. And we can't do that without the best and the brightest in the field. That's why right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators who can step in and hit the ground running. With a people-first mentality, career growth, and comprehensive benefits, why would you want to work anywhere else? To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
The Jedi return to Rogers Place.
Saturday night, your Edmonton Oil Kings look to trap the Brandon Wheat Kings in Carbonite for the annual Star Wars game. Catch characters on the concourse for out-of-this-world selfies, Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. Plus, the Oil Kings will wear special Star Wars-themed jerseys that'll be auctioned and raffled off in support of Sorrentino's Compassion House. The Edmonton Oil Kings Star Wars game.
Saturday at 7. Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a full warranty center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at AWS.ca. AWS Welding. Our welding keeps you working.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
It's Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:01 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius Show presented by Sports Select. And if you prefer the paper selection slips, it's no problem. You make your picks, you use it on the paper, they put them in the machine, they spit them out at your local lotto spot retailer. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. It's Wednesday. That means it's time to welcome in our Wednesday co-host, former NHLer David Schlimco, powered by Cougar Paint and Collision. Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family for over 40 years. Part of the Napa Certified Auto Body Program. Check them out at cougarcollision.com as we welcome in Schlemmer. Good morning. Clever, how you doing, big guy?
Morning, KK.
Hey.
I'm great, buddy.
Hey, it was a late night for a lot of people.
It was.
Yeah.
A little delayed on the puck drop there last night, eh?
Well, 8:18, and then there was the delay with the penalty call.
Yeah,
true. That wasn't exactly a 1 or 2 minute.
That was a long review.
Yeah. Hey, we might as well start there. So.
Well, let's dive in.
So we've been talking about it all morning. We've had people texting in and saying this is absolutely the right call, the 5-minute major. A lot of other people think 2 was the right call. I again, to get the ball rolling, they had to call 5.
Yeah, they had to call 5 to review it.
Right. So that's how it started. I said, to be honest with you, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. If they would have called a double minor, he stays in the game. Spec was saying, well, Ingram's out of the game too. So there's a lot of ways to look at this. So you're a defenseman. You've had guys barrel around you. I don't know, Nathan MacKinnon is as big of a load with speed that you probably have in the NHL.
Yeah.
So that's a locomotive coming your way. So
that is.
Run us through what you saw and then how it was kind of reviewed and everything else.
Well, right away, I thought it was a 2. Okay. I thought it was going to be a 2. I thought that he didn't really try that hard to get out of his way. Like there was some contact, but he still hit him or didn't try to get out of the way. But the more I watched it, the more I think and Oilers fans are probably going to hate this take, but I think I'm with Bednar. I think I got a picture. I actually have a screenshot of it right before as MacKinnon's coming in, and you can see both his toe caps were exactly where they're pointed, exactly where he's going to go. He's not going to come close to hitting Ingram. So I think, when he hits Nurse and he gets launched up into him, I just don't see there's anything else that he can do there to avoid Ingram. I'm not saying that this is Darnell Nurse's fault or anything. He's making a desperation play. He's on one knee, reaching out, trying to get that pass. And it's unfortunate what happens, but I don't think there's anything MacKinnon can do to avoid the contact.
Okay, but that's the problem here, Schlemmer. So, and the contention that I've really kind of put my basis on this morning is the fact that most of the time contact happens at the top of the crease here when a forward's cutting across. Ingram here is basically, he's 2.5 feet from the top of the crease, and then it's his crease, man. He's got to lean forward.
Oh, 100%.
Okay? So he's got to make the adjustments because his number one priority is stopping the puck.
Yeah.
So I just look at it because of where Ingram was at point of contact, being so deep in the blue, that is probably why, in my mind, that they went to a 5.
I don't know if our listeners are watching can see this onto the camera, but look at the toe caps. He's going to miss the blue paint.
I don't see that, Schlemmer. No, I see, and so you're blaming Nurse a little bit here too?
I'm not blaming Nurse, but I'm saying that contact, especially because he's reaching and down low, kind of launches him sideways and upwards into Ingram.
Yeah, I don't think there's as much contact. I mean, listen. And Duke used the word reckless. It's reckless by MacKinnon. He's doing what you're taught to do.
Yeah.
That is a playoff move, and it's unfortunate that Ingram got hurt. But as I said, I think it's a 2. But I see why they called it a 5 from Toronto, because Ingram was so deep in the crease.
I see it. Yeah, I see that too. I just think if there's no contact, I don't think MacKinnon hits him at all. It's a full speed play, and then there's nothing he can do.
All. I think because he's so deep, if you look at where point of contact is, and Nathan MacKinnon, he plays the game with an edge. He plays hard. I mean, he's had some stuff in the past. He's not an angel out there.
No, but I don't think I don't think he's trying to make contact in any way. I think he's driving the back post hard. He's coming to the net, and game's fast.
I'll tell you what, we've had so many people. I think more people are saying that they're happy it's a 5. If it's the other way around,
Well, sure.
And it's Zach Hyman going in. Are you saying it's a 5?
Exactly.
Probably not.
If it's Connor McDavid driving that and some D-man clips him and he goes flying into the goalie, I think it's a different conversation.
It is. Again, I'm more of along the lines of a 2. And if they could ever give a 4, that keeps MacKinnon in the game.
Yeah.
I don't, the toe cap thing to me, I
that's where he's going.
But that's a screenshot, Slammer, of where, like, what's the screenshot a split second later?
It's him running into Darnell Nurse and then his course changing, his path changing course.
You got some fans on the text line. You got something else, but
I'm sure it's not going to be a popular opinion.
No. Well, most people they think that that's where it's at, is a 2 or a 5. Most people don't see a penalty. Like that's not in the conversation here.
No.
But again, this is a guy that's played 400 games in the NHL. Again, this game is so fast now.
Exactly.
And you have 2 guys. That's basically like Darnell Nurse is 230 pounds.
McKinnon's not far behind, probably.
Yeah. But you got let's call it 450 pounds going hard to the net. Shitaki's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
For
sure.
We also had some texts. There wasn't a response from the Oilers. Was that time of game? Was it MacKinnon? Was it you're going to see what the penalty is here?
I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of factors. I think the first one that gives guys pause is it's a superstar, and then you're thinking like, oh, maybe you probably didn't mean to do that, or then you're thinking it's a big game, it's tight. Do I go take an instigator right now?
Take a number for next time.
Right.
There's a lot of things that can come into play here.
You know what? I like the Oilers game last night.
Yeah.
I like their response even overall. They had a really tough start. You get buried on first shift before, your big guns even get out there. And I think the shots were 4 or 5-0. And you're thinking, oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah.
And they did a good job. They had an answer.
Right before you came in, we were talking about Evan Bouchard. He was better than Cale Makar last night.
He was good.
He was very good.
Yeah.
And he's been really good down the last little bit here. So, and I don't want to get into this like it's like a Bouchard Makar thing, but to be honest with you, that was one of the things I wanted to watch last night because for one reason, more importantly, I think Bouchard was pissed that he didn't make the Olympic team.
As he should be.
And he should be. That's right. So I think he wanted to say, I want to have a better game than Cale Makar last night. I really do.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. So from the other side, do you think Cale Makar has anything to prove? Like, I need to show everyone I'm better than Evan Bouchard tonight? Probably not.
Yeah. David Schlimco with us here on Sports 1440. We got Stephen Ellis from Daily Faceoff coming up at 9:20. Also, Ansar Khan from M Live covers the Detroit Red Wings in the 10 o'clock hour. The one other thing, there was turning points in the game. The hit on Ingram from MacKinnon was one of them, but I thought the Roslovic goal late in the period because
what a dish by Leon too.
I mean, and then that was a hell of a shot in tight.
That was a nice finish.
A great finish.
Man, Leon's backhand is just I was trying to think of it. Anyone, because I think Louis said on the broadcast like one of the best in the league, and I'm like, who's even close to him? I guess Sid. Sid is there. Yeah. He's right there with them. But other than those two guys.
Someone else texted in too, speaking of passes, because Speck mentioned it last night because he was at the game. And he goes, Makar and MacKinnon, they might pass harder to each other than a lot of guys shoot.
Oh, I was going to say that too. Especially Makar, man. Like, he really snaps that thing. Even if it's just like a 20-foot pass.
Yeah.
Like a shot.
And it's funny. I know you're trying to put touch on passes, so maybe you could explain this too. But we discussed this with a guy like Zane Parekh, and you see sometime his passes float on him. And we were talking about the whip of the stick and everything else. So maybe
think maybe the whip of the stick, but for me, I think that more comes with like being a young player and coming out of junior. And I had trouble with that too. And coaches told me that, like stop putting passes in an area, stop like trying the cute sauce all the time. It's too cute. Like you got to make hard, fast plays at this level. So I think that'll just come with being a pro for guys like Parekh.
Yeah. But even like sometimes Bouchard doesn't have that snap on the pass, right?
True,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? You know, like,
but sometimes he does too.
yeah, and like again, I know each pass is different because you want to have you're setting up some guys for a one timer. You're setting up guys where they can make the adjustment to where they're going to make the next play too.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like different style. I
Yeah.
feel like Makar is everything is kind of like fast and crispy, where Bouchard's kind of, I don't know. He's got that slow kind of finesse.
I just want to maybe get the Duke to chime in here because sorry, Duke. I know you got a lot of crap going on over there, but the text line. Normally, the text line. I've never seen it so either it should be no penalty, a 2-minute penalty, or a 5-minute penalty, and it's right across the board.
It's spread out. It's very evenly spread.
Is. Yeah, it really is.
I could see that because you could justify any of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just how do you see it?
And like Duke said, and the one word that he did use, it was like MacKinnon is coming in, and then it's reckless the angle that he's coming in. I still think that is, and again, my contention is the way that Ingram is pushed back all the way to almost to the goal line. You know,
and I understand everybody's opinion on it. I don't think it's a hard and fast one way or the other, like whether it's Schlemmer saying it because he played in the league or us watching on TV or Spec in the building. Like everybody's entitled to it. And the way you see it is how you're going to dice this up. But like to put it in just a pure hockey perspective, and Oilers fans that are mad about this and saying it's a reckless play and endangerment, like, is that not what you want your players doing? Is going to the net hard?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Every time.
So, and you use this example right off the top, Kevin. It's perfect, and it's sometimes tough for Oilers fans to grasp. Like, just switch it around, put it on the other foot, and it's Connor McDavid going to the net like that, and a defenseman comes in and kind of clips him. What does the text line look like this morning instead?
Yeah,
it's completely flipped on its head. So you got to try and look at it with a little bit of perspective, and if you're able to do that and you still think it should be a 5-minute major, all the power to you. I don't, and we'll talk about it some more in or out. I have a question in there, obviously, about it since it's such a hot topic this morning. But yeah, I'm right there with Schlemmer where I think you can look at it in any of these three scenarios of no penalty, 2-minute, 5-minute, and there's evidence and justification for that opinion. But it's kind of goes back to the whole thing about goal interference where it is a little gray. Where there is no hard and fast rules. So
and at the end of the
complicates
day,
it.
In Toronto, they're always going to protect the goalies. Always.
I think Schlemmer's got a new nickname too, Toe Cap.
Schlemmer Toe Cap.
That's taken over from Schlemdog Millionaire, without question. Hey, we appreciate all the texts. It's too hard. They're all coming so fast, and everyone has an opinion on them, and it's great because depending on how you look at it, again, it's been no penalty, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If you switch it around and it's McDavid, what is the call then? And that's what Sports Talk Radio is all about, when you can have varying opinions, for sure. Coming up at 9:20, Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. Also in the 10 o'clock hour, Ansar Khan from M Live covers the Detroit Red Wings. The Kevin Carey Show is presented by Sports Select. And again, it's so easy to play. Just visit sportselect.com, generate the QR code, check the how to play videos for step-by-step instructions. Sportselect.com. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. When we come back, Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff on the Kevin Carey Show with David Schlimco and the Duke of Delburne on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you need bodywork, paint touch-ups, or anything in between, the family at Cougar Paint and Collision takes every customer issue to heart.
We've had a lot of really good customers over the years. One guy, he would bring in everything and he would just expect us to be able to kind of fix it. It didn't matter what it was. And one time he brought in his washing machine.
The only thing that was wrong with it was the drum was rusted out or something.
Yeah, he wasn't going to replace it.
Yeah, we had to weld it up. Anyways, he was a nice old guy. Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. March Madness is finally here. If you've been waiting to get into a new or used vehicle, now is the time. This is a mega sale, plus the grand opening of our all-new Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No iPads, no patio sets, no trips to Vegas, just a good deal. So stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just little a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Crave presents a new must-see original crime drama.
You think you can just walk away with drug money and nobody's going to come find you?
The Borderline.
You killed my friend.
Set along the Thousand Islands border, a cop blurs the line to protect his past.
I'm going to keep you out of jail.
Starring Stephen Amell, Tamara Podemski, Hamza Haq, and Minnie Driver.
Did you catch the bad guys?
I always catch the bad guys.
The Borderline. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:21 in Edmonton, just waiting the arrival of Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. Schlemmer said in the commercial break, well, it's kind of unfortunate that we ended up talking about the Ingram MacKinnon collision for 10 minutes here because it was a hell of a game.
Great hockey game. It's my favorite matchup in the league.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Colorado was missing a couple of key guys in MacKinnon and Landeskog.
Sure.
But it's funny how you like Brett Burns is still chugging along at 41 now.
Crazy.
I mean, Kulak had that little slash in McDavid there on that breakaway. So there were so many other little storylines that you were watching last night.
Cooley, sure. That's a nice fit for him on that squad.
Well, he's a third line guy, a third pairing guy. I think he's played for the most part with Malinsky. We had Connor McGahey on, and so, but he's moved up. He's had a few shifts. He said even with Cale Makar.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just suits his game so well. Just the skating and playing fast, moving it quick.
You can see. I mean, the thing is too. You know what? Colorado was really, really good at home, but now they're 4-5-2 in their last 11 games at home.
I mean, it's hard to stay hot for 82 games.
But that's not even below 500 here. So
yeah.
And here's the other thing: Dallas won last night again. Now that's 5 points back. The Stars are 5 back.
They've been hot.
Yeah. Well, they're 12-0-1 in their last 13.
Yeah. I mean, they can't stay that hot.
And that's without Rantanen. And they've had Hintz out.
Right.
Fax has been out.
What about that? Speaking of Malinsky, I really liked him last night. He's got a ton of skill.
Moves the puck. Well, did you see that one time when he caught back on Connor McDavid?
I did.
Yeah.
And did you see that little dance between the legs at the blue line in the first? Like, he's not afraid to try some stuff. He had a couple tough turnovers, but I like his skill back there.
It's a smaller guy. He's a smaller guy for sure. Time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages are here. We've got a great selection, too. Many colors to pick from. $49.9 gets you behind the wheel. Brand new Jeep Gladiators below $50,000 only at stalbertdodge.com. As we welcome back Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. Morning, Stephen. You're with Kevin Karius and the former NHLer, David Schlimco. As always, thanks for jumping on.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Appreciate it. Yeah, doing great here. Hey, might as well talk about it. We talked about it for 10 minutes with Schlemmer and all morning. What is your take on the Connor Ingram collision with Nate MacKinnon last night, Stephen?
I didn't hear what you guys had to say about it, so I'm interested. But for me, I hate to see goalies get hurt. But that's what it kind of felt like, because the goalie got hurt. That's why we saw the penalty that we did. So I don't love it. I don't love it, but I also play goalie myself. I also am pretty sensitive to any contact, anything that gets anywhere near the head, anything that causes cuts or anything. So I get it, but I don't know. It didn't feel like a good penalty at all to me.
Yeah, well, we've had everything from no penalty to 2 to 5.
2 I could see. 5 doesn't make much sense to me. I didn't get the full kick the guy out of the game for it.
That's where I was at right off the hop, and I said 2 I was fine with, and that's the way it goes. So other than that, I mean, it was a hell of a game, wasn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, I at first I watched the Montreal-Toronto game. I'm like, man, this is dull. I don't care which team you're cheering for. That was a tough game to watch. Just not a lot going on, unless you love goaltending. Again, that was pretty good then. And you turn on to see the chaos of what was going on there in Edmonton, Colorado. It's I know my fantasy hockey team losing MacKinnon probably didn't help there. I'm not winning my matchup this week, but it's been for me. I was wondering how the NHL was going to look after the Olympics. Like, we just saw great hockey for 2 weeks. Like, is it going to be worth getting excited about just another regular season game? But basically, since the trade deadline, there's been so many fantastic games. That game on the weekend, Tampa, Buffalo. Like, I'm glad to see that. We kind of needed that energy, because otherwise it's been kind of dull.
Yeah. Go ahead, Schlemmer.
Well, I guess, speaking of the post-Olympic, I always think there's kind of like three seasons in the NHL season, like the pre-Christmas, the post-Christmas, and the post-deadline. So I think the game really changes post-deadline. It's kind of big boy hockey. So I guess, who do you see kind of, climbing through up the standings as the games get tighter here, and maybe a team or two that you see could maybe fall out of it?
I think you're looking at the Ottawa Senators right now. They've been red hot, 7-1-2 in the last 10 games. They've won the last 3. And I know when you look at this team early in the year when they were really struggling, I'd say goaltending was a big thing people were concerned about. Like, remember around Christmas, obviously they lose Linus Ullmark. It's like, are they going to make a trade? Like, James Reimer, really bringing him back? That's the guy you really think is going to make the difference there. But the fact is, they've been able to shut teams down. They've been getting the goaltending they've needed. They're a fun team to watch, especially in an Eastern Conference where you look at it and Detroit, Boston, those are the 2 teams in those wild card spots. But either one of those teams could easily be number 1 in the Atlantic in a couple days. Like, that's just kind of how wild that division's been going. So looking at that, and then I think in terms of teams to watch fall out, like, I don't really trust the Pittsburgh Penguins right now. They're getting points. They've been able to get points in 8 of the last 10 games, but they've also only won 4 of those games. They've had to go to overtime a few of those, shoot it a couple times. So I think they got to be a little bit nervous there. But at least with them in the Metropolitan, they've kind of got a bit of a buffer compared to the Atlantic, where it's just cutthroat every single night.
Yeah. Stephen Ellis with us on the Kevin Karius Show with David Schlimco on Sports 1440. How cool is it to see what's going on in Buffalo here, Stephen?
It's awesome. That's a market I spend a lot of time in, living in Toronto. It's easy for me to go and get to the Sabres games, and like that's a proud fan base. Like one of my favorite events of the entire year is the Buffalo Prospects Challenge. It's like right before training camp, but you're still getting packed arenas in their small practice facility, and the fans are just such diehards. It's such a fun time to be there. And also to any players that don't want to play there, man, Buffalo's got a good food scene. Like Colton Parenko, you're missing out on some of the good chicken wings and all the stuff you can get up there. But it's been really good to see that. I think with the Sabres, it's just, remember the start of the season where they won a couple games, they couldn't even score a goal. And then now at this point, that's all they're doing. All they're doing is just scoring goals at this point. They're so good at home. KeyBank's definitely a fun place to be. And that game against Tampa Bay was great. So for a group that couldn't seem to figure out their goaltending at the start of the year, and it's like, oh, good, they're falling short again. They're firing the GM. I feel bad for Kevin Adams right now. I think everyone kind of has to at this point. This is his team that's doing this. It's a lot of his decisions, but I think in some cases you just need to make a change just to get the spark. And you see with this group right now, they're just, nothing could stop them.
So how about the other side of the coin? You mentioned it at the start there. Can it get any worse for the Leafs? I mean, 8-game winless skid here. Or is it going to get back to the point where we're seeing jerseys thrown on the ice? I know no one wants to get back to that, but it's looking pretty ugly right now.
Yeah, when the waffles start flying, that's when it gets good. So we'll see if that happens again. But it's kind of wild where there's still enough time where they could just go on this like 4 or 5 game heater, kind of like they did right before the Olympics, and everything could change, right? The issue is just nothing's showing up here like that. I think the one game against Ottawa a couple weeks ago where they had 3 shots with 5 minutes to go in the second period. Like, you can't win games when you're doing that. And then you watch that game against Montreal last night where they never looked better at any point in that game. Montreal was just keeping them in their own zone. So it's hard to feel confident about that group. I know there's obviously some questions about what's the deal with Austin Matthews at this point? The story goes that he's fully healthy. Well, it doesn't feel like he's playing like that, right? And it's been a while since we've seen a guy like him go out there and look like he could be a real difference maker with the puck consistently. His shot isn't looking anywhere as good. So, and then obviously losing Mitch Marner and not really finding the offense anywhere else, I think that hurts. Like when you look at what Toronto has failed to do year after year when it comes to the playoffs is getting that scoring depth, getting guys out there who can go out there and make a difference. And you see the teams that win the Stanley Cup, like the Florida Panthers had Brad Marchand on their third line last year. Lou Restarainen was really good. Like there's so many good players in that bottom 6 that made them so effective. Toronto just doesn't have that. So when their big guns aren't scoring and there's nothing happening in the bottom 6, you can't win games. So I got to give some credit that guys like Joseph Voll's been playing well, and Stolarz can have his minutes, but that's it. This team just looks like it's just dreadful hockey to watch at this point.
Stephen Ellis with us from Daily Faceoff, just dreadful hockey. So I just want to sort of ask about the top 5 pick that's protected. So they traded the pick to Boston. It's protected top 5. So, I mean, there's a very good chance here that there's no way that this ends up in Boston's hands, is there?
It's every week it's getting closer and closer. Like right now, there's still a bit of room. I think like St. Louis has still a decent enough of an advantage here in terms of legal room here. But I think there's a 5-point difference between the two, and right now St. Louis has the 5th best odds. So I think Toronto just keep losing. Keep falling apart, keep having these rough games. Hey, sit Austin Matthews, let him get ready for next season. But I know no one wants to watch their team tank, but like a team like Chicago or in previous years, like San Jose, like they're used to it at this point. So if they start losing games, it's like it's whatever. But for Toronto, this is a fan base that's been restless, expecting more for a very long time, and to kind of resort to the Austin Matthews games where everything's falling apart. Like you look at those lineups, and like I know obviously Edmonton knows a little bit about those dreadful years of just like what are these lineups. Toronto had the same thing kind of going on at the same time. I think if you're a Leafs fan, you don't want to see that, but you have to finish in the bottom 5 this year because this is a team that does not have the prospects, does not have the future assets to have a true rebuild. Like this has to be a retool where you're getting a player that could be in the NHL in the next 2 years. You can't be patient here with this group because they didn't sell enough to kind of suggest that they're going to be all in on the future here. So tough time for this team.
Well, I no pick for Ottawa either.
Yeah, at least they may make the playoffs, right? Like if they make the playoffs, I don't think they care too much. It's something where if you're in that 15th, 16th, 17th overall pick, you're probably like, okay, it's not the world's strongest draft after the top 10. Like we can live with that. But at the same time, you want to have your first round pick. Like losing it the way they did, that just for that fan base.
A little random here, Steve, but Ryan Ufko from Nashville. Never heard of him until I was watching SportsCenter last night. Probably the nicest first NHL goal I've ever seen. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but you know anything about this kid?
Yeah, this is a guy that kind of you look at the small defenseman archetype and you're always like, okay, can one of these guys make it? And for him, he's been kind of on that verge of being an impact NHLer for a while. He's been really good in the AHL the last couple of years. At the World Juniors in 2023, he had something like 10 points. Like he was on fire. He could play a bit on the power play. He skates well. I think when you are a smaller defenseman, someone like Lane Hudson, you need to be out there and provide other things away from the puck, but you also need to be a really good skater. And we've seen that from Ufko. That's always been his thing. He's quick, he's fluent, doesn't make a ton of mistakes with the puck. I'd say he's just a really smart player overall. And physically, that's where things kind of fallen apart for him in the past. But I'm really happy to see him get that opportunity and show that skill that if you watch the Milwaukee Admirals, I don't know if you guys do a lot of that, but he's been really skilled and really fun to watch the last couple of years. So it was a nice reward for that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Cool.
Yeah. And he's having a pretty good season in Milwaukee. And as you said, he's an undersized guy. And you never know. I mean, they thought they had a guy there, an undersized guy, and Ryan Ellis for a long time. Don't you think, though, Stephen? And I don't know if
he's a good player.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that this guy's any close to Ryan Ellis, but maybe there's something there.
It's funny how Nashville finds success either with the really small guys, kind of like a Ryan Ellis, or the massive goaltenders. Like, it's like the one time you have Pekka Rinne as one goalie and UC Saros as the other. It's like you get one of the biggest goalies in the league and like literally the smallest goal in the league. It's kind of funny how that works for Nashville. But, like for the Preds, this is a tough time for the team. I'd say their trade deadline was, other than getting a second rounder for McCarron, I'd say it was not a great trade deadline for them. They needed to sell a lot more, but I still feel like they've got enough players in the pipeline right now where it's like, well, they're not at the spot they want to be, and they definitely aren't in the spot where they were expected to be when they got Marchessault and Brady Shea and Steven Stamkos, but they still have some young guys in the system to get excited about, and Ryan Ufko is one of them.
Yeah. Totally off NHL topic. I was reading the article you had about that the team from Sarnia not winning a game this year on the junior side here, Stephen, because, I mean, we always talked about that tournament you covered. It was over the holidays, and there was absolutely nothing going on, and you're watching Vietnam play Afghanistan, and I mean, only you would be watching those games, Stephen. But what did you make of this Sarnia squad that went, what is it, 0-50?
Yeah, 0-50, first team in Junior B history, and I believe any high-level form of junior hockey to not win a single game despite playing every single game. So a little bit tough there. There was one guy that was an alumni on the team who I was reading his backstory on Wikipedia, and he was traded for like a steak dinner. That's got to be one of the weirder trades of all time. But I can't remember his name, but yeah, it's crazy. But I think in general, it's tough for the players, right? It's tough mentally.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I used to cover the OJHL, there was a team, the Milton IceHawks, where the coach's son was the goalie, and over 2 seasons he went 0-50 as a goalie. Like his goals against average was like 9 something, and I felt so bad for him. Like that can't be good for them. Like it can't be good for any of these players. But they've the GOJ or the GOHL, the Junior B League, they did make a statement yesterday saying the old ownership of the team, when the team was a bit more competitive, is going to be taking over for next year. And it was that they were removed as owners. I don't know the full context right before the season. And then it felt like everything kind of got put together at the last minute, and you see kind of the result where the team goes 0-50. But like, I felt bad for other teams going there knowing like this is a waste of time, things like that. Like this isn't a good situation for anybody. So that's tough. But on the same day that happened, I watched a Junior A game where a team had 17 power plays scored on one of them, but still won the game 7-0. I can't think of a time I've ever heard a stat like that. Like, that's a weird power play.
Well, it's funny, when Colorado was here in November, the Avalanche won 9-1, but the Oilers killed off 7-7 power plays that the Avs had that night. So it's funny game. What else is cooking, shaking on DFO here in the next little bit, Steven?
Well, it's college free agent signing time. So we're going to be seeing a lot of those guys out there. You're never looking for a big name player. You're not going to get a ton of star talent, but you're looking for someone who could be a depth player. Like, if you could find a fourth line style player, you're pretty happy. TJ Hughes out of University of Michigan's getting a ton of love. He's been very productive the last couple of years. Tyson Gross seems like he's probably going to the Calgary Flames. He might be the best college player this year. Looking for a goalie. Max Lundgren's a pretty good goalie in Merrimack. He's faced something like 35 shots in 23 of his 34 games this year. So he's a busy guy. So again, not a ton of high-end talent, but if you could find someone like a Quinn Hudson or a Colin Graff, you're probably really happy.
I just punched up Colin Graff right now. Just punched him up because 16 goals, 19 assists in San Jose. How much do you think that these younger guys that are coming out of college, Stephen, go, I need that opportunity more? Because for the Oilers, let's just use the Oilers as an example. This is a route they got to find guys because they just don't have the picks. Do players go and they see the usage on maybe the fourth line or whatever here in Edmonton and go, and they look at Quinn Hudson and they go, I'm not going to get the opportunity, so I'm going to go elsewhere?
Yeah, I think, it's something where you see often it's a lot of teams that are kind of not in the playoff hunt that are looking for these type of guys, but then you're going out there and teams like Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, they seem to always be involved. Buffalo, same thing. So you're always still looking for some depth. A lot of these players that are 23, 24, turning pro probably know that their best odds of playing pro hockey are going to be through the AHL and trying to force their way up. But you look at a guy like Bobby McMahon. It was kind of a similar situation for him in Toronto the last couple of years, where he was a really good college player, but he had to go play like 2 years in the ECHL before becoming a full-time AHLer. And then we just saw the return Toronto got for him from Seattle. So you're still, when you're one of these guys, you're still trying to find those opportunities. Sometimes you want to be on a team that's a little lower in the standings because you have a better chance of making the NHL. But in other situations, you want to be a guy where Quinn Hudson, if he gets called up to play at a more consistent pace, is probably going to play with higher caliber players and get a bit more visibility, and that could be better for him in the long run. So it kind of really depends on the type of player and the type of role you can play. But I think the good thing about something with these college guys is they are much further along in their development. You're not having to kind of wait years to see what type of player they are. It's like when they're 23 or 24, you kind of know what type of guy they are. You kind of know if they're going to be an NHL player or not, but then you still get guys who are trying to develop and become an impact guy at 27, 28. So it's kind of a mixed bag there, but it's still a valuable route for a team like the Oilers who don't have a lot of prospects, especially now that the CHL free agent route is not going to be much of a thing with most of those guys deciding to go to college instead.
Now, Steven, do you think, with the state of the game in the NCAA, it's probably the best it's ever been. Do you think these guys are a little better suited to kind of jump in and make an immediate impact at the NHL level?
I think so. Like, you're looking at a lot of the guys that are coming out this year as potential top prospects, like Western Michigan University, Merrimack, College of the Holy Cross, not teams that we typically see a ton of NHL players come from. So we'll see if those guys can make the jump there in their respective teams. But I think in general, going like I went to, I'm drawing a blank. I want to say, Niagara University earlier this year. And like, that's not a high-end program, but they got a lot of guys that are playing in the CHL the last couple of years to kind of make them a stronger program. And, you're still seeing the best players going to the top programs, but for this to really kind of become the best possible NCAA hockey that we're looking for, we still need those smaller schools like the Colorado colleges and the Northeastern. Not typically a small school there, but you still need those teams that are not producing a ton of high-end talent to go out there and still get those players to be very competitive. So you'll get a lot of those guys that are coming in for 1 year, 2 year, like Gavin McKenna, probably not going back to college next year, but at the same time, you got to find those guys that could be impactful for a few years to make those teams very exciting. Because we saw Western Michigan last year, we kind of become this shocking team winning the NCAA title. That's something that when you think of the best schools out of Michigan, that's typically number 3. But as long as those programs continue to improve, that's when college hockey is going to get even stronger.
Stephen, as always, incredible insight. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the stretch run in the playoffs here. It's going to be an exciting time leading up to your specialty, the draft, and everything else. Thanks for coming on, as always.
Thanks so much, guys.
Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff, and our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where, again, the 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages are here. You can get behind the wheel for under $50,000. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, I guess we'll go in or out with David Schlimco on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, presented by Sports Select on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? At Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
What's some non-Nissan drivers here?
Soul-crushing flurries today with the low of making you cry.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's looking absolutely perfect out there.
Don't fear the forecast. Get an all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue and get up to $4,500 cash purchase bonus on select new 2026 Rogue models. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
The weather doesn't care about your shift or your schedule. Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts let you battle back against the ever-changing elements. Carhartt's durable, water-repellent technology lets light rain beat up and roll right off. Layer up and stay on the job longer without getting drenched. Get your Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts at all three of our Edmonton job site workwear locations.
Job site workwear, tough different jobs.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Welcome back to the big program, 946 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, David Schlimco with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. We talked about a few other things over the course of the morning, too. things that we'll never see ever again. One of them was Bam Adebayo racking up 83 points. The other one was Italy beating the U.S. at the World Baseball Classic. Now, I don't know if anyone knew this, but the GM for Italy, Ned Coletti, he's the GM of the Italian baseball team. He used to be in the Dodgers organization for a lot of years. He also is a scout for the San Jose Sharks.
Wow.
Did you not know that, dude? Yeah, isn't that unbelievable?
That is.
So this is a guy. Actually, what happened, I was reading up on him last night. The one thing that he did mention that about, just the fact of leading Italy, to over the United States. He just said, I didn't do this for my resume, he says. I did it to pay respects to my heritage in Italy. And he talks about how his family came over 120 years ago. And now he's the GM of Italy at the World Baseball Classic. And they beat the United States last night, 8-6. And they got a decent chance to go to the quarterfinals here. We'll see what happens today.
Can we talk about this for a sec? Because I just turned it to the station driving in, and I feel like you guys were right in the middle of this Team USA. So they screwed up. They didn't know they were in, or
so what happened was they played Italy last night, and they had a 3-0 record.
Yeah.
But before the game, they assumed, even the manager of their team, Mark DeRosa, went on and did an interview and said, well, we've already clinched a playoff spot. So, we'll see how and he didn't play a few players either.
Okay,
his lineup, it wasn't like he didn't treat this as a win or all costs go home kind of thing.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of other crap talking about, like Bryce Harper's running off stuff today about saying, the United States, we if this were the Olympics, we'd care more. Give me a break here. But anyway, DeRosa said, we're going to try to win this game, but we've already locked up a spot. Well, they didn't.
Okay.
Because so Italy beat them. Now, if Mexico beats Italy today, it'll be Mexico and Italy going to the quarterfinals.
Oh, baby.
And USA. So, this is again, the equivalent of if Italy, or maybe not quite Italy in the Olympic men's hockey. Let's just say Germany beat the United States in that round robin game.
Okay, so it's along those lines.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a story.
Having said that, like Duke, when Israel's lineup came up, and Duke looked at this lineup and went, what? What's going on? And then the Italian lineup, see, it's not like you're born in Italy here. If you
it's a couple passports on there.
If your last name ends in I, you're on this team, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of thing. So
same thing happens in hockey.
Sure.
Yeah.
Having said that, Italy didn't take any pro players, right?
That is true. They
went the other
Olympics.
way.
Yeah.
They went the other way. So I don't know. Anyway, time now for In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast AC service, that's air conditioning, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, let her buck.
Edmonton Oilers picking up a big win last night, 4-3 over the Avalanche from Colorado. A wild back-and-forth contest. Several deserving recipients of this unofficial award I'm about to hand out, but the game's unsung hero, I thought it was Tristan Jarry coming in pinch duty, and a guy that has really been fighting it as of late comes in and delivers an impressive performance to eke out the victory.
Didn't the team give him the
Did
vest?
they? I see. I don't see a lot of that.
Yeah,
stuff,
I think I saw
once
a
the game
picture.
ends, Kevin,
You're done.
My TV's off. I'm in bed.
I know.
See you. Good
Me
night.
too.
I don't know if
Kevin lives for seeing who gets the locker room awards afterwards.
Only when they were the other. What team has that great big samurai sword? Is that Buffalo?
Wasn't it Buffalo? Remember at the start of the year we were talking about it? They pull it he pulls it out of the actual sheet and he's swinging it around.
That's awesome.
It's a real sword.
Yeah.
I love that.
Can you imagine some guy getting all of a sudden?
Whoops.
Never mind Jack Hughes in a restaurant with a glass. Sure, Duke. I love it. And more importantly, he needs it more than anyone else on this team.
Yeah.
Like, to get to get it in gear here.
Yeah.
So Schlemmer.
Get his confidence up. I don't know what the garbage rumors was about the stuff at practice. I don't really buy into any of that, but it's tough to come in like that and do a job, and he did it. So hard to argue with that one, brother.
Yeah.
I got to give a little love to, well, first the 5D that did a job after Emerson went out after the first period. Good job stepping up, everyone there. And also Trent Frederick. Looks like he added a little speed to his step there. I don't know if it was the fight got his confidence going, but he was noticeable out there. He's on the forecheck. He's turning pucks over. Thought he had a real good game.
Yeah. Can't argue with anything there.
And yesterday, Kevin, you and I talked about in our kind of game day predictions about maybe another contribution from the bottom six like we saw in Sunday's win over Vegas. And we didn't get that. It was all the big dogs on the score sheet. But I did think the bottom six, and it was kind of tough because it was a rotating cast after Doc left the game and didn't return. I thought they were really effective again. And that's Trent Frederick, as I said, Schlemmer. I thought Podkolzin, who, listen, he was up with Draisaitl and Roslovic a good chunk of the night, but Jason Dickinson continues to really impress me in his couple games.
Szymanski doesn't look out of place.
No, and it's kind of starting to come together a little bit for the Oilers, and it is a short stretch, but with a win over a team as formidable as the Avalanche, I think it's a nice feather in your cap. Tough test against Dallas tomorrow, even with the players they're going to be missing. But yeah, essentially across the board for the most part, I think a lot of credit is due, and especially to Jarry, who it was like forget coming in to start the third period. He did make a couple nice saves in the final minute of the second, where he got a little bit more time to maybe stretch out or something there as they were doing the 10-minute long review, which I hope would help at least a little bit. So yeah, Jarry really stood out with all factors considered here.
As you said, those two saves, you're thinking that this 4-on-4 for 35.
Run out the clock and get to period 3.
Then we can figure out what we're going to be doing. And we know we're on the power play for 4.5 to start the third, too.
Yeah.
Right. Dickinson, though, we haven't talked about him. Man, has he been good? He's slid right in and just looked great.
And I don't know if it's just because I'm trying to pay more attention to him to get this evaluation of how he looks with the team. But, and I said this to Kevin on the top, Schlemmer, especially in the first half of the game last night, I thought that some of the Oilers' defensive zone issues continued to be apparent at times, but then all of a sudden you see certain shifts where maybe it starts to look like they're getting on their heels, and it seemed like every time when they would break it up and get out of their own zone, it was Dickinson having a role in it in some way or another. So I thought he was great last night, and again, Connor Murphy putting on display some of the abilities that he brings to this team, which the more he plays, the more it was apparent they were lacking.
And the Avs came hard, man.
Yeah. It was a great game. Really, really good game. Hey, we'll circle back to this. Major point in the game was Nate MacKinnon's 5-minute major for goaltender interference. I know we've talked it to death, but maybe someone's just tuning in. Let's render one final opinion after everything we've seen, the screenshots. We've heard opinions from texters, from Stephen Ellis, from Spec, from Liam. Schlemmer, I think it was no doubt a penalty, 2-minute minor. Play not deserving of the major and game ejection that it was diced up to be.
So that's where I'm in. It's at the start of the show. I said a 2-minuter. And again, I'll still keep saying that my contention about being back in the crease is the reason why they went to 5. Schlemmer, we know where you're going with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it should have been an ejection, but I can't be in on no doubt a penalty. Sorry, I'm out.
Schlemmer's out.
Schlemmer. Toe caps.
Doubling down. Toe cap Schlemmer. Won't back down.
That's where he's going.
Yeah. And we don't need to spend a ton more time because we have talked about it so much. But yeah, it's when you see a collision that violent and that loud, for lack of a better term, you have to think, okay, something has to come of it here. His head's bleeding. But,
his head's bleeding.
If the more I hear you describe it, Schlemmer, and I watched 3 plays over, if I had to pick either no penalty or a 5-minute major, I think I might be in no penalty.
Oh, we're getting there.
You're tipping away at me. You're tipping away at me. Outside of hockey, it was a wild night in the rest of the sporting world. You guys just touched on it before we kicked off the segment. The Ravens back out of what was the NFL's biggest offseason move so far in their acquisition of Max Crosby. Bam Adebayo, second highest points in an NBA game in the history of the sport, passing Kobe Bryant when he put up 81 against the Raptors. Bam with 83 last night for the Heat. But all that considered, I think the craziest story was the fact that the United States lost to Italy at the World Baseball Classic.
Oh, man, this is a tough one because those are two things.
It's like, why couldn't these all happen on a different night this week and give us something more spread out to talk about? All this happened, and the Oilers played the best team in the NHL last night. it's a rare morning where 4 hours is simply not enough to get to everything.
We said at the top, 2 things that we'll never see again, maybe in the history of sport.
Probably.
Like someone beating 83 now, and then the U.S. losing to Italy here. Oh, like I'm more of a ball guy here. And then I'll tell you what, the integrity of how Adebayo
that factors in for me here.
So that's
what do you mean the integrity?
So at the end of the game, not even at the end, like the guy was obviously had a great first quarter, had a great first half. So now you can, someone's telling everyone knows that Kobe's numbers is 81. That was 20 years ago against the Raptors. That game, how it unfolded, nothing close to what last night's did.
So they're just trying to feed him everything, shooting everything.
Always trying to feed him, but then little things. So the game was well in hand, and they are fouling. They're fouling the Wizards, the Miami Heat, to obviously get the ball back and also stop the clock.
Right.
So that there was a challenge that wasn't even close to a challenge.
Yeah.
But they said we want a challenge. It offered a little breather. Things like that.
And here's my final point too. And I'm not trying to take away from the accomplishment. 83 points. It's insane. There's a reason we've only ever seen it a couple times previous, and once we have no real footage of it because it was Wilt Chamberlain with his 100-point game. He shot 43 free throws.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So he went 36 for 43 from the line. And that's in one game.
Yeah.
There's guys that won't shoot that many free throws in a season.
Yeah.
Wild numbers.
Attempts and makes are single game NBA records. He was 20 of 43 from the floor. 22 of those attempts were 3-pointers.
20.
So obviously, and I mean, the other thing, when you watch all his threes, like it's nothing but net on all of them, it seems.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I'll be in with you, Duke. I like the Italy beating the USA in the World Baseball Classic story. I want to look into that a little. Like, how does that even happen?
That's the thing, and it all factors in everything Kevin said about like how crazy this is that the States were not like totally oblivious to the fact that they had to win this game to lock it up. Like they can still get in, obviously, they're not eliminated,
but nobody knew.
Nobody knew. And how about this?
Crazy.
The top 5 batters in the Italian lineup
were 0 for 22.
0 for 22, and they still won the baseball game.
Deep team.
The deepest roster we've ever seen at the World Baseball Classic. Not many teams could have their top 5 guys go 0 for on the night and still come away with a victory, let alone against the United States. What a wagon the Italians are this year at the WBC.
Everyone wants to see the result today with Mexico and Italy.
Oh, for sure.
So now then the
It's a
States would be
must-watch
out of it.
now.
And Canada, they have the early game, 1 o'clock against Cuba, winning in for them to advance out of the group stage for the first time ever. So that'll be an awesome afternoon viewing. And then Italy and Mexico, that first pitch just after 5 o'clock. Aaron Nola on the bump.
What time's the Canada game?
1
Nice.
o'clock our time. On to number 4 for Max Crosby. Once again, it's a wild news story that even in just that last question alone, we barely talked about because of how crazy everything else was. I'm thinking he's still going to be traded out of Vegas. I don't know if you can go back on how things have shaken out between him and the team, but the return that they fetch will no longer be the wagon haul of 2 first-round picks that Baltimore originally ponied up in the deal.
And Duke, we're on the same page. We talked about it in the break. So I said probably maybe that was the ask for many other teams before. So 1 and 2, that's where I see it. This kind of, it just stinks. It stinks. It does again, like when you think about it, and then signing Trey Hendrickson. So that's what Baltimore did. So in a matter of 8 hours.
Schlemmer, you've been in this situation before of both being traded and having to pass physicals, right?
Yep.
When you get to new teams. So
Sure.
Max Crosby was shut down by the Raiders down the stretch of the season because they wanted him to get healthy, whether he was playing for them moving forward or not. And also as an asset protection, right? Don't want to get hurt any worse.
Yep.
He gets surgery after the season. He was not happy about being sat out, yada, yada, wants to play. So he just had surgery. How do you pass a physical when you just had surgery?
Yeah.
And do the Ravens not know that when they make the deal in the first place?
They knew.
But so what does this look like? Because he was in Baltimore. He's in the facility.
Mm-hmm.
What does that evaluation look like that all of a sudden they say, oh, buddy, we're not going anywhere near this. Give us our picks back, please and thank you.
Sounds kind of similar to the Eichel situation in Buffalo. I have no context on this to be in or out. Honestly, I'll be with you, Duke. That's what you think, buddy.
So the bigger question here, Duke,
where does he go now?
Yeah, where's the landing spot?
If all of a sudden the price is down, do a team like the Bears circle back? Because that was one of the premier option landing spots. They need to shore up their pass rush. They didn't. They did a lot of good work in free agency here. Obviously, it just first and foremost replaced their center, who retired very unexpectedly. Was one of the best in the league. But their defense, they got some help in the secondary. I think this could still be an option on the table. I think a first and a second, or maybe a first and 2 seconds. I don't know, but I definitely don't think it's going to be 2 first-round picks anymore.
Well, here's the other thing, Duke, and we talked about it at the top of the show as well. Quite likely, there's a chance that Baltimore can't even or wouldn't even think about making this deal for Crosby had they not known like a day later that Lamar Jackson's going to restructure his contract and leave the $40 million out, right?
Well,
so
and
$30 million is what Crosby's salary is next year.
The Raiders just spent more than I think anybody in free agency the past couple of days,
because
now they have $30 million back on the books. So I don't think they're over the cap though, because the team is so bad, even with all the money they just spent. But still, like, they're almost forced to now trade him from a pure money's perspective. And the Ravens, this is like a pretty good contingency plan. The fact that Henderson was still available. What if he wasn't? What if he'd already signed? They could all of a sudden be staring down the barrel, be like, oh boy, we're in tough. We let our star center leave because we didn't think we'd have the money to sign him because we're bringing on Crosby. It's a weird domino effect that goes back, because this is what kicked it all off before the legal tampering period on Monday. So wrapping it up, today is National Dream Day. Lucid dreams, creepy dreams, scary dreams, nightmares, all on the table. I think it's better for the human brain and our psyche, our mental and emotional state when we wake up, that dreams are fleeting and difficult to remember. I don't think it would be good if we could actually remember everything that happens inside our head when we're asleep.
Yeah, I'm going to be in on that one, Duke. 100%. I mean, I got that little hamster wheel going in my head enough all day with
I have a hard enough time falling
my
asleep.
dreams.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Can you remember yours or?
Not really, no.
Duke, where are you at with that?
Really depends. Some I wake up and they're very vivid, and then no joke, even by the time I get in the shower, I can't even remember what they were about. It's crazy. And listen, my brain is pretty bad in a lot of areas, so it shouldn't come as too surprising. But are there people out there can almost always remember their entire dreams? Do those actually exist?
I don't think it's very common. That's for sure.
If you do a certain activity, let's just use that.
Liquor or smoking?
No. Like, okay, the easiest way to say this is the last, I don't know, a little while, I've had more dreams about hockey because I've been playing more hockey than I have.
Kevin's dreaming of his glory.
No, like it could be anything. Like
maybe he'll dream about winning the lottery tonight.
Kevin has dreams of himself patrolling the Oilers' blue line alongside as Evan Bouchard's left-handed partner.
Not that kind of stuff. It's more back older stuff, or even something that happened at hockey. I don't know. So my question is, if you were doing something more and more in your daily life,
right,
are you more prevalent to have a dream about that?
I think it depends how it impacts you. Like, if you people that go when they have dreams, like if you maybe see a therapist or go to therapy or something, that's always like, oh, well, did you have a dream? What was it about? Because all these things have internal meanings and beyond what it actually represents. Listen, I'm watching The Sopranos right now. That's prime Tony when he's talking to his therapist all the time, right? So I think that's part of my point here, is that if you remember that, would you be overthinking stuff even more because you actually have the memory hard in your brain? If you forget about it in 10 minutes, then you just carry on. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
So, like, I'm watching Peaky Blinders, Duke. So all that stuff.
You can understand those guys.
Kevin needs subtitles.
Well, have you watched it?
I tried watching the first episode. So I can understand what anyone's saying.
Oh, no, you got to have subtitles.
I don't want to watch
the very first time I watched it, this is back when it was like still coming out originally, and I was living with some buddies, and I came into the living room and they had it on. I stood there for 10 seconds and watched. And I as I'm leaving, I was like, are they speaking English? Like, straight up, I could not understand a word of it.
MTR says, I dream about meeting KK and Triple C at the bike rack almost every night. I can tell you, MTR, that is no dream. That would be a nightmare for you.
And MTR, we're talking about, subliminal messaging. That can't be very good. KK lives in your head rent free.
Exactly.
As the triple C.
Triple C.
That's a tough admission, MTR.
Ooh. You got to just, while we were talking, just seeing Chris Johnson reporting Nick Schmaltz signs an 8-year extension with the Mammoth carrying an $8 million AAV.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe she's just one of those guys that kind of stays under the radar. Like, he's been there his whole career. Must love him.
Didn't he go to Arizona out of Chicago? Didn't he start in Chicago?
Oh yeah, you're right. He did.
And I remember at the time, Blackhawks people were like, wasn't it the trade for Dylan Strome?
I think so, yeah.
And then they let Strome leave, and Schmaltz has been really good. You're right, Schlemmer, very under the radar, but he's no spring chicken anymore. And he's having a career year. So maybe that.
How old is he? He's got to be getting close to 30.
28, I thought.
Yeah.
I'll check for
That's
sure.
Like it's because he came into the league very young. So he's got a lot of games under his belt, but he's still not old.
That's a nice deal to get at 28. 8-year deal.
I got someone else popped up. I thought he was 28. I don't know.
That's not going to look good on the books in 5 years.
Well, it might look good because here.
I have Nick Schmaltz at 30 years old already.
Yeah,
drafted first-round pick by the Hawks in 2014
for a 30-year-old.
$8 million at 38 years old.
Yeah, you're right, Duke. I got him at 29, but he had his birthday here a month ago or
That's going to look bad on the books in 4 years.
Cap's going up, Schlemmer.
59 points this year.
$8 million, so I'll be the going rate for a third-line center in no time.
Must be nice.
Coming up at 10:20, we're going to talk a little Detroit Red Wings hockey with Ansar Khan from M Live. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by All Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Just 2 games in the NHL tonight. Senators taking on the Canadians from our nation's capital, and Washington heads across the state line to take on the Flyers. And just coming across the wire, Utah Mammoth and Nick Schmaltz coming to agreement on an 8-year extension that'll carry an AAV of $8 million. Schmaltz currently enjoying a career high this season, on pace to set a career, 59 points in 65 games. In the association this evening, handful of games, including the Raptors' second half of back-to-back taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. And from the World Baseball Classic, it's win and in for Canada to advance out of the group stage. They take on Cuba, first pitch just after 1 o'clock, and all eyes on Italy versus Mexico at 5, as the result of that game could determine if the United States does not advance. Earlier this morning, Baltimore Ravens, on the heels of last night's Knicks trade acquisition of Max Crosby, assigned Trey Hendrickson, Bengals former pass rusher, to a 4-year deal worth $112 million. And the Indianapolis Colts and quarterback Daniel Jones reportedly finalizing a 2-year, $88 million extension. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Ansar Khan from M Live covering the Detroit Red Wings. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. March Madness is finally here. If you've been waiting to get into a new or used vehicle, now is the time. This is a mega sale, plus the grand opening of our all-new Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No iPads, no patio sets, no trips to Vegas, just a good deal. So stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacing, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Irrelevant Saskatchewan history. Kevin's got it. But first, catch the exclusive interviews and stories nobody else has. The Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1013 in Edmonton. Quick little segment before we get to Ansar Khan from M Live, covers the Detroit Red Wings. The Kevin Karius Show is presented by Sports Select. Again, it's so easy to play. Generate the QR code, go to sportselect.com. It's step-by-step instruction and guidance. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Wanted to mention, too, with all the signings in the NFL, that Adam Schefter reporting too, that the Colts and quarterback Daniel Jones have reached an agreement today on a 2-year contract. Now, according to his agents, Brian Murphy, Andrew Kessler, it could be the largest 2-year contract in NFL history, pending the max value of it, $100 million. It's an $88 million base, $50 million fully guaranteed at signing, $60 million guaranteed for injury. $88 million for Daniel Jones, and man, he's come a long way since the Giants here.
Couple bucks there.
Like, there was a time where people thought that this guy would never be in the league anymore, or I guess he would be a serviceable backup because of how his career went in New York with the Giants. So you think about the quarterbacks that the Giants and the Jets had in New York. So they had Sam Darnold, they have Daniel Jones. Darnold signs for tons of cash. Now Daniel Jones, and both those two teams are still, I guess not as much with the Giants, but they're trying to find a quarterback still in New York with the Jets. They believe Dart's the guy in the Giants organization, but
yeah, it's still got to be tough to watch a little bit.
You know, and that's the whole thing about, you know, when you're drafting quarterbacks and then they don't pan out.
I mean, it's a little different in the NFL, or you're expected to come in and be the guy right now.
MTR says he signed a big ticket with the Giants a few years ago too. Well, I don't think it was 88 million, MTR. Matt Leduc says that's a lot of dimes, Danny Dimes. But, you know, again, you think about it, and, you know, to MTR's point, when you have Brock Purdy drafted where he was drafted last overall, and then you see him being able to get an opportunity, not only the opportunity, but make good on that opportunity.
I take advantage of it too.
And then not only does that free up salary for all the other critical positions, but then, you know, at the end of the day, he did cash in, you know, Brock Purdy. So, you know, the opportunities are there. Oh man, that's big deal. So going back to the Schmaltz deal, so 8 years, $8 million. We had a texter just come in right now. BC Oilers says, I'm not sure that looks good on the books right now.
I didn't want to be that cruel, but
so
I think Nick Schmaltz a good player.
He's a point a game guy. He's on their first line.
Yeah.
There's obviously something going there between him and Gunther. I mean, they have a lot of pieces here.
They got a good team. They're fun to watch too.
They have another contract, so that kicks in. I'm just going to check exactly. So Dylan Gunther's contract kicked in this year at 7.1.
That's one's gonna look nice on the books in a few years because he's just gonna keep scoring at will.
Schmaltz was making 5.8. That's his final year of his deal.
So usually once you get into your, maybe take a pay cut,
but
get into your 30s.
But the big one is Logan Cooley. So he goes to 10 million next year.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where they gotta, and they have to really like their defense, how it shapes up, because it's not old, but it's right in the prime with guys like
they got a good
Dursey
core. Really good.
Mackenzie Weegar's there now too.
Right.
So he's at a pretty decent contract at 6.2. John Marino's playing really well for them. So
they got a good club.
They got a hell of a club.
And they got an ownership that's paying guys now. Long gone are those Yodi days.
Man, those were the days, Schlemmer, where you guys couldn't even get a protein shake after the game.
No, I remember I was like my second or third year, and we started getting breakfast made for us at the rink, like every other NHL team always had. And I remember we got pumped one game, and Tip came in after the game and started snapping about breakfast. Gotta have breakfast. Like we were spoiled.
Oh, man. Hey, when we come back, Ansar Khan from M Live, Detroit Red Wings reporter. That's straight ahead on the Kevin Carey Show with David Schlimco, who is powered by Cougar Paint and Collision. Our family helping your family for over 40 years, part of the Napa Certified Auto Body Program. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. We're on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select, and we're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Cougar Paint and Collision, family incorporates everyone.
I mean, the staff at Cougar are the cogs in the wheel. If you've got one or two wheels that aren't rolling with the other one, then you're not going to have a smooth operation. Everybody that we have at the shop really enables us to continue to help Edmontonians. We just try and help people get their cars back on the road, and it's the people that work for you that are going to allow you to be successful.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French. Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier, a plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère, je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets.
Ah, oui, right this way.
For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Hey, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Ah, yes, Alberta in March. Green beer and slushy roads.
where the only thing worse than the roads is trusting them. If your brakes are squealing louder than a pub on game night, or your shocks feel like they found potholes instead of a pot of gold, it's time to go to Napa Auto Parts. With over 85 locations in Alberta, Napa has the quality parts, tools, equipment, and know-how to keep your ride smooth and feeling confident, more than lucky. Visit your local store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you. The responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1022 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, David Schlimco with you here on Sports 1440, along with the Duke of Delburne, and time to talk a little Motown hockey with Ansar Khan from M Live, covers the Detroit Red Wings. Good morning, Ansar. You're with Kevin Karius, David Schlimco. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to be with you.
So, hey, what did you make of the game last night where, the Panthers just I think everyone in Detroit thought they had this one in the bag, and then next thing you know, she's 4-3 Florida with a couple of late ones.
Yeah, that was without a doubt the toughest loss of the season for them. Bad enough to allow the tying goal with a minute and a half left and potentially lose the point, but. When you're less than 2 minutes to go in regulation and you're looking at a good chance of getting 2 points and you skate away with no points, that is a crushing defeat.
So what was it just in the last couple of minutes? Just breakdowns? What did you see here?
I believe on the tying goal, Todd McClellan even mentioned in his post game there that it looked like it was Edvinsson that was trying to shoot from deep in the zone into the empty net when he should have just made the safe play and put it off the glass and out of the zone. Instead, it gets intercepted at the blue line and passed to Verhaeghe, and it's in the net on that one. And then, so a mistake. Should have done the safe play instead of going for the empty net. And then on the tying goal, it was, on the winning goal, weird that, less than 20 seconds to go in regulation, instead of just, getting this thing into overtime, they had their three forwards were caught deep in the offensive zone for some reason. They were just scrambling to get back. Odd man rush the other way. Verhaeghe again, a shot that got a little bit lucky. It deflected off of Justin Faulk's stick, but still, you can't give up that kind of scoring chance with that little time left.
Mm-hmm. So adding insult to injury, I guess, Andrew Kopp goes down with Larkin and Danielson already out. Who's the next man up to kind of step up and fill in here?
Yeah, that's McClellan said that Kopp doubtful for tomorrow's game in Tampa. Dylan Larkin's already been ruled out for at least the next two games. Okay. So you're looking at being down their top two centers. That's going to be tough to overcome. They'll have to call somebody up from Grand Rapids, probably a Sheldon Dries, AHL player, basically a career AHL player. Their top pick from a couple of years ago, Nate Danielson, a center who spent part of the season up here in the NHL earlier, but it appeared he just wasn't ready for the NHL yet. But he's been injured. He's out, so they can't even recall him. So they're going to basically have to. JT Compher's going to be elevated to the top line, or actually Marco Kasper would be their would probably fill that number one center slot. Marco Kasper, you've got JT Compher, and then Michael Rasmussen would be bumped up probably to third line center. But yeah, no, it's definitely thin at that position, and they can only hope that this Copp injury, like Larkin's, isn't long term. Larkin at least made the trip. He hasn't started skating yet, but it's a good sign that he made the trip, and so they're hopeful that maybe he can come back sometime next week.
Ansar Khan from M Live, our guest on the Kevin Carey Show with David Schlimco here on Sports 1440. How's Justin Faulk looked since being acquired at the deadline here, Ansar?
Good. Just 2 games, but they know what they're getting in Justin Faulk. Over 1,000 games, a good two-way defenseman. He provides a lot of what. Basically, he's the guy that they needed at the trade deadline. Second pairing right shot defenseman to replace rookie Axel Sandin Pellikka, who was basically just kind of in over his head there on the second pairing with Ben Sherratt, to the point where they had to sit him in several games in the third period, or really reduce his ice time in close games because they just couldn't have him on the ice when they're protecting a 1-goal lead or in a tie game. But they really liked his skill and his offensive ability. But they needed to either bump him down to the third pairing or just basically scratch him from the lineup, which they've done the last couple of games. But yeah, Faulk, gives them some offense, as well as a more steady, a better defensive presence there on the second pairing, a bit of a physical element, and some experience that they need down the stretch. He was definitely a key pickup.
Yeah, I love that pickup. I also thought that's what the Oilers needed, but whatever. While we're talking about the back end, how about Simone Edvinsson? Is this guy as good as he looks to me? I mean, obviously you got Mo Seider. He's going to be your anchor back there, but this guy, he kind of looks like a Victor Hedman in the making to me.
Well, yeah, he's improved. He's taken another step this year. They've pretty much settled on the Edvinsson Seider pairing as the permanent pairing. Seider had been playing the last couple of years a lot with Ben Sherratt on the top pairing, but they see Seider and Edvinsson as really their number one pairing for years to come as a solid defense duo there. Yeah, no, he's been good. The occasional, he's still young, still learning.
Yeah.
The occasional mistake, like in last night's game, going for the empty net there in the final couple of minutes. But no, he's been good, and he's only going to get better. And the thing with him too is the last couple of years, sneaky good offensively too. Offensive numbers are decent for a guy who gets very little, if any, power play time. And in the future too, I could see him being on the manning the point on the number 2 power play unit, because he's got a tremendous shot.
Ansar Khan with us on Sports 1440. What's it been like to cover Patrick Kane for you here in Detroit, Ansar? And to the point of where, he passed Mike Modano for all-time points by an American in NHL history.
Yeah, no, it's been good ever since he came here. I believe this is his third season now with the team. Just really good to deal with. And as far as team-wise, in addition to his offensive the offense. He provides a good team leader in the room, somebody that especially the young guys look up to. And really, that month there where he scores his 500th goal, and then a few weeks later he passes Mike Badano to become the all-time leading scorer among American-born players. It really energized the room, I think, and it kind of lifted everybody kind of during the dog days of the season here, and really energized the fan base too. It was two really neat milestones that he reached fairly close together.
I wanted to ask you about Emmett Finney, young kid, 7th round pick in 23, former Kamloops Blazer, makes a team at 18. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. It looks like he's still on the second line. So, I mean, pretty impressive for a 7th round pick. How has he been? Has his game fallen off at all, or is this a full-time NHLer that's going to make an impact?
Yeah, no, he was definitely the biggest surprise coming out of training camp, and you can almost see it coming. You mentioned 7th round pick. His draft class, he was the first player that they signed out of that class, which is highly unusual for a 7th round pick to be signed that early.
Yeah,
and which kind of it showed right then and there what they thought of him. And he's just gotten better ever since progressing to the point where he earned a job out of training camp, and he got off to a really good start. He was actually the right at the start of the season. He earned a spot on the top line with Larkin and Raymond, and since then, typical of what you expect as a rookie, he got off to a good start playing with on the top line. Had a dip. I think he recently won more than 20 games without a goal. Since then, he's scored a couple goals since then. Kind of picked it back up, playing on what you'd call the third line now. With their injuries, I'm sure they'll be elevated to maybe even the second line status. He's been playing with another young guy, Marco Kasper. They formed a good pairing there. Young, fast players who bring some skill, but no, Finney, he's definitely exceeded expectations, and definitely here to stay. They had another rookie, their top pick from 2024, Michael Brantzig-Nygaard, who also started the season. But after 9 games, it was clear that he needed some development time in Grand Rapids, so they sent him down. Played well down in Grand Rapids. He was the AHL Player of the Week last week, and so then after Larkin's injury, then they brought him up. Now he's back, getting his second look with the team.
What do you think of him so far?
It's small sample size. He actually missed a part of last night's game with an injury, but good. He plays a different type of game than Finney. He's bigger, thicker, a little heavier, a little bit more abrasive and physical. So it gives them that element, that kind of and that's one of the things that they really need, is a kind of a hard to play against element that they've really lacked.
What's the feeling here down the stretch here, Ansar? I mean, can't harp on that game last night enough. I think, especially not to even just get 1 point. Now Montreal, with the win last night over the Leafs, goes ahead of Detroit. The Bruins are right behind them in this Atlantic Division. Columbus is chasing them in a wild card spot. What's the feeling here with less than 20 games to go?
I imagine it's nervousness.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I mean, they were looking fairly secure a few weeks ago, but they've had this problem the last couple of Marches. They just, for whatever reason, they just seem to fade late in the season, to the point where McClellan said a couple of weeks ago he's done talking about. He doesn't want to talk about March anymore. That's in the past. But if they're not careful, it looks like it's happening again.
Yeah. Game changes after the deadline.
Yeah, and they're they've just been inconsistent. They haven't lost 2 games in a row in regulation since late November.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the only NHL team that hasn't done that, and that is since the start of December. But they've also, over the last 14 games, they haven't won back-to-back games. So they're really up and down. They're pretty much playing at a 500 clip since just before the Olympic break. And, at that time, it seemed like if they just kept it at 500 for the rest of the season that they would get in. Now I'm not so sure. They might need to do slightly better than 500 here the rest of the way to get in, with the way some of these teams in the East are picking it up. Columbus, obviously, a team that they got to keep an eye on.
Ansar, as always, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the stretch run for the upcoming playoffs. It's going to be very interesting. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to be with you.
Ansar Khan, M Live, covers the Detroit Red Wings. That's like to lose the way they did last night, Schlemmer.
It's a tough one.
I've known Todd McClellan a long time. He's the kind of guy that, well, first of all, when the 3-3 goal gets scored, now I think he'd be pretty upset. But the winning goal with 15 seconds left, he's the kind of guy that when you look at his face, the blood pressure starts to, and he's that guy that all of a sudden, like, you can just see it like rising up to his eyelids and then the steam coming out of his ears.
Just seething.
Yeah. Because that's a point. Worst case, you got to get it to OT. So
right,
they scored 2 goals in the last minute and a half or so, or whatever it was, and then the winning goal with 15 left.
Backbreaker.
Yeah, that's Florida. Now all of a sudden, Florida's at 67 points, dude.
Oh, if they somehow squeak in, watch out.
No, we don't want that.
Barkov back in practice.
Yeah, I know. And then Blair texted in about that.
He had to make sure you were keeping tabs on the Jets last night, and they were getting it pretty bad from their own fans in the MTS Center.
My 2 biggest predictions, Schlemmer, at the start of the year, I said Florida won't make the playoffs. And then when Winnipeg was in almost dead last in the West, they weren't that far out. There were so many teams that were near them. I said they're going to come back and make the playoffs, but they absolutely stunk last night against.
Didn't look too good against the old Ducks last night.
Ducks.
What was the shots? Like they only had like 13 shots, right?
How do you have 13 shots? Like, this is a game where you got to win this. As Duke said, Anaheim's leading the Pacific. They came into this as the underdog in the game.
Not a team that's known to limit the
chances either. Kevin and I were joking about it before we got on this morning about this game, and I said, because I didn't catch any of it last night and coming back from hockey and going straight to the Oilers game, I said, did John Carlson make his Ducks debut and have a huge impact on their defensive structure? No, he did not play last night. So it was the same group, both Jackson Lacombe and Jacob Trouba, over 27 minutes in a game that they only gave up 13 shots on net. So leaned on their top guys pretty heavily.
Do you think Carlson goes into Lacombe, into that pairing?
I think for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Trouba and Gudas have struggled against the top competition that Lacombe plays against night to night, just foot speed wise. So Carlson, as a good skater, I think and defensively minded with the puck moving ability, I think is a natural fit.
So then Trouba goes second pair. Does Gudas go third pair?
I would. I know they still really value what Gudas brings to the table as a leader and the physical element, but man, this year it's been a pretty big drop off. He looks real slow out there, really slow.
When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. Kevin Karius, David Schlimco, Duke of Delburne on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French.
Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier, a plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère. Je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets.
Oui, right this way.
For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Divorce is never easy, but Fairway Divorce Solutions can help.
Their clear step-by-step process addressed all our issues, and we moved through the process quickly.
Fairway didn't take sides. They saved us money and heartache.
My ex, the kids, and I feel like we'll all be okay.
At Fairway Divorce Solutions, trained mediators and in-house lawyers will move your divorce process forward in a professional and efficient manner to achieve a fair resolution and separation agreement. Visit fairwaydivorce.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Say at the red piano. All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:45 in Edmonton, the Kevin Karius Show, presented by Sports Select with David Schlimco, Duke of Delburne. It's almost game time, down at Rogers Place. The Edmonton Oil Kings are playing the old hockey hooky game. They do a few of these, and they got Wenatchee, the Wild, in town tonight. This morning, I guess I should say. So, remember covering these when I was working at Global, and like when you go to certain events, you always, like as a reporter, you would be looking for a thing called SOT, sound on tape, and how you constructed a story would be you need the natural sound of how you want to complement interviews, complement your narration, and things like that. Well, the hockey hooky game.
Well, high pitched.
Well, so if you put 15,000 kids in a rink and feed them pop and candy and popcorn, I guess.
I mean, all the great kids' food combos that they have at Rogers for Oil Kings games. How can you not? It's a no-brainer. Fill them up.
And they want one thing and one thing only, besides the pop and the candy and everything. And that I bet it would rank second to seeing themselves on the Jumbotron, because that is all they care about. And it's so much fun. Did you guys have those in the hat, or was it?
No, you know what? I didn't have them in the hat yet. My first year pro in the Central Hockey League, I remember we had one in Corpus Christi, Texas. Hard waking up and getting ready for a game, but
was it like 11 in the morning?
Oh yeah, maybe even like 10. It was early. It was hard to get going, but probably one of the best turnouts for fan wise in Corpus Christi that I ever played. So.
What was like capacity of the building?
Oh, maybe 5,000 or 6,000.
Still, man, that would have been wild in there. And like, what's that, Duke?
The hockey hotbed, Corpus Christi.
Right.
Corpus Christi.
Right on the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Great spot for it. Is that closer to Houston or San Antonio, or neither?
San Antonio. It would be closer to. Yeah.
Okay.
Or south. So like lots of people from San Antonio when I lived there, they would go down to South Padre Island for like, that's where all the spring breakers from Texas go.
Well, they're having problems with the water down there. I can tell you that. Duke, did you know that?
Like what? This is like in general?
There's a major water crisis down in Texas area.
Well, I know the
Corpus Christi.
I just know the Gulf part of Texas. Charles Barkley makes the jokes about all the time. Like the beaches in San Antonio, Houston are just disgusting.
I mean, what beach?
San
San Antonio
by
is not on the ocean.
Okay, I'm thinking of Houston.
Maybe Brownsville area.
Well, I just the Gulf, the Texas
is.
Gulf beaches are notoriously gross.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even I remember back in November, October when I was flying down to Cancun, and you can do like the flight tracker thing on your seat back, so you see, and that's essentially right where we flew over was kind of Houston or just outside, and you can even see it like from the plane looking down at the water, how dirty it is, and then as you get out, it turns back into real Gulf water and not just polluted, rank black.
Gulf of America.
Yeah. Right. Sorry. My apologies. My apologies. DT.
I did last week. Schlemmer showed me the video of Trump and Barack Obama like edited together. That was from the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
what it was from. Anyway, I showed it to a few of my in-laws. They thought it was the funniest thing ever.
It's pretty funny.
It really is, when just the back and forth.
Just the difference.
Oh man, the knocking on the door. Oh boy. What did we miss today, Duke? I mean, that was a lot of yakking about that hitting the crease. It was one text here. Greg from Donsdale says Rule 42 covers the hit on Ingram, and it's pretty clear. Specifically, Rule 42.1, 42.3, and 42.5. The referees called it correctly. I've never seen those rules in the book, Duke, but I'm sure they're.
Kevin, have you seen any rules in
sure.
the NHL rule
I used
book?
to have the rule book all the time, Duke.
That doesn't mean you opened it. Like,
come
what's
on
the Michael Scott quote when he's at the bar talking to the manager that's hitting on him? It's like, have you read Lee Iacoc's book? He's like, read it. I own it. No, I've not read it. That's curious with the NHL rule book.
No, I've read the rule book. I'm not.
No, you have not.
Don't start, Duke.
You just said, I've read the NHL rule book, which leads someone to believe that you have read it cover to cover. That's what when you say I've read a book.
No. Like,
even if
I've
it's
gone
a rule
into
book.
it. I've seen certain, like I've looked up rules and I've read, how they can be implied to certain situations. Hey, look at our old buddy Cam Tate sliding in.
Morning.
Looking good too. Well, let's not get carried away here. But hey, Cam's been really good. He's been talking to Boris Rabalka through another guy over. Boris is head coach of the sledge hockey team.
Is he?
Olympic team, yeah.
Old Boris.
And Boris is a beauty, man. He's such a stand-up guy. He was in Camrose for years.
I was just going to say, I don't think I've heard about Boris since his Camrose days.
Yeah. Like he he coached so much and then got into the managing part, but just, kind of a really good community guy.
Yeah.
In Camrose.
Awesome.
Duke, what do you think of this Cuba game in Schlemmer? Cuba and Canada coming up, as you said, 1:00 in your updates. This is such a big. This could be the
Better
biggest
question
game.
is, what do you think of this game, baseball guy?
No,
Come on, baseball guy. This should be good scouting for your all your drafts.
Yeah, but it could be the biggest baseball game for Canada
Because they
in
never
history.
made it through to the
They
quarters.
haven't made
right?
it through the quarters. You know, I was thinking about an old friend that passed away. We had him on the show, Jim Baba, who is director of baseball.
Oh
Canada.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
He passed away.
he passed away. He
Oh,
was
that's too bad.
involved for 20 years, and I mean, right now he would just be. He'd be this game. Like he would be so looking forward to watching and seeing how Canada would not only do, but he would just be so proud of the how far the programs come.
Right.
You know, when you think about, you can talk about even, other programs and other sports in our country, but you think about it, like back in the day, before the likes of Larry Walker and stuff like that, and Justin Morneau.
That's what I remember when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
There's like Larry Walker and maybe one other guy you knew, and that was it.
We just didn't have the capabilities, and the programs weren't there, and the training, and players would go down to the States and obviously play, but to play year round, like baseball's that sport you got to play almost year round,
right?
And because it's not that taxing on you, but if it's all about your timing and everything like that, more so than other sports, I think. But to have the ability to play more months of the year, because we couldn't do it in Canada, just can't do it. I mean, they do it in BC a little bit here or there, but
Yeah, like golf. It's tough, man. We got winter.
there you go. So I mean, they beat Puerto Rico yesterday 3-2. They had three guys, the three pitchers that threw yesterday. I'm quite certain no one's even heard of them. Would that be fair to say, Duke? Well, maybe Logan Allen. He pitched the middle 3 innings.
The guy from the Korean League,
The Korean League.
or maybe
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 not.
it wasn't the same guy.
Jordan Balazovic, he threw the first 3. And then there's a guy, they call him the big doctor, and his name is Brock Dickhorn or Dickhorn, I think.
Is he a
one of the
literal doctor like the Czech ace
He's
that
6
was
foot
an
8.
at-home electrician?
Yeah.
6'8".
6'8".
Monster.
Did you hear about that guy yesterday, Duke, for the Czechs?
No.
Threw 4 2/3 scoreless innings against Japan. It was his last game pitching for Czech. He's an electrician by trade.
Unreal. That's awesome.
And they gave him a standing ovation in the Tokyo Dome after the game. All the Japanese fans.
Of course they did.
And not only that, but that's when you got the first real look at him, and he looks. Am I off on this, Duke, or am I close?
I think you're closer with your caddy from Happy Gilmore than you are with the Zach Galifianakis comparison.
Okay.
Because he's
Either
skinny,
way.
right? This guy's skinny. Like
Yeah.
Galifianakis, part of
Yeah,
his thing is that
fair.
he's kind of the round face and the bigger
Yeah.
guy. The caddy, Happy Gilmore caddy with the beard and the kind of mangy long hair, looked like he just crawled out of the woods. That's pretty apt, I think.
Mm-hmm. Perplexed Oiler fan texts in, who are the Oilers going to bring in for Emerson and Doc if they're injured? Well, they're in-house already, those 2 players. So you would have Schlemmer's buddy, Rico, Adam Henrique, and he should be ready to roll here. And then on the back end, you would have Spencer Stastny. So those replacements are in-house already. The bigger question is, again, with Connor Ingram.
Right.
Do you have to make a call up to get
You have to get
Cal
Pickard
Pickard
up.
back up?
Do they call up Regula now too to have 7D back there? Or
You got a back-to-back here, too. So it was weird how Emerson, you could see that
he got hurt on the Manson hit.
Yeah.
You could see that was a big collision behind the net, the
With-
first one,
that
but
was
he
with
got
Ross
right
Cole.
up and he ran at Manson right after that. And as soon as he bounced off Manson, he looked hurt.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, Schlemmer. What's on the go on the weekend here? Little
Start of dance comp season, buddy. Mail it in for the next 2 months.
So let's expand on this. What?
Well, like pretty much every weekend for the next 2 months, I'll be at a dance competition
Really?
all weekend.
And just to be clear, it's not you in the competition.
No, I'm just number 1 fan, buddy.
Yeah.
Number 1 fan.
Oh boy. Have a good one, big fella.
Thank you too.
And we'll see you next week. That's our co-host for Cougar Paint and Collision, David Schlimco. Our family helping your family for over 40 years. Part of the NAPA Certified Auto Body Program. Check them out at cougarcollision.com. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochette T-Bird,
Connor Halley and the Duke of Delburne, 12 till 2. It's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell, 2 till 6. Jason Gregor drives us home with the Jason Gregor Show. We got Fox Sports all night long. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells with our host, Ladislav Schmid, our co-host. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Hey, thanks everyone for listening this morning. Thanks for all the great texts, all the great interaction. We could not do it without you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 bells. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Just 2 games in the NHL tonight. Montreal heads to our nation's capital to take on the Senators in a pivotal Eastern Conference playoff race matchup. And Washington heads across the state line to take on the Flyers from Philadelphia. Off the ice, Utah Mammoth signing forward Nick Schultz to an 8-year, $64 million extension this morning. Schmaltz on pace to set career highs this season, currently 59 points in 65 games. Top of the hour here from Rogers Place, downtown Edmonton. The Edmonton Oil Kings hosting their annual hockey hooky game, where they take on the Wenatchee Wild. And in the association, half dozen games, including the Raptors, second half of a back-to-back. They're in New Orleans tonight for a 6 o'clock tip-off against the Pelicans. Elsewhere, Houston and Denver, and the Clippers playing Minnesota. World Baseball Classic, a couple pivotal games today, including Canada play win and in game against Cuba. First pitch just after 1 o'clock to advance into the elimination stage. And Italy will take on Mexico at 5. Implications there, depending on result, if the United States misses the playoffs. From the NFL, after last night's Knicks trade acquisition of Max Crosby, the Baltimore Ravens agreeing to terms with defensive end former Bengal Trey Hendrickson on a 4-year, $112 million deal. And Daniel Jones sticking in Indianapolis after being transition tagged earlier this winter. He signs a 2-year, $88 million extension, $60 million of which is guaranteed. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us, the Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace install company for sailors because they know the value of a warm port. And they sing, there was a ship who fought the cold and sailed the sea with a furnace load. She brought the heat to YEG and her name was Legacy. Through icy wind and winter squall, her fire she burned for one and all with a comfort chugging guarantee and her name was Legacy.